हो गया? Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Yesterday we dealt with topics related to floods, disaster, glacial lake outburst flood in Assam. Today we have a few topics. जैसे ये सामने नहीं आ रहा. You will see today in mains we are going to cover three topics. One is the job reservation for locals. अभी Karnataka government tried to bring a bill for reserving jobs, even in private sector, for locals. In the past, this has happened for Haryana. The High Court of Punjab and Haryana in November 2023 declared that unconstitutional. Jharkhand government has also done it. Andhra Pradesh government has also done it. They have reserved even private jobs for locals. So we will understand that issue, what goes on, why that is done, advantages, limitation, and should that continue or not. We'll do that analysis. Then you must have recently seen a lot of articles related to Finance Commission. The 16th Finance Commission has started functioning. We'll understand what Finance Commission does, what its purpose is, but more importantly, what are the main challenges in front of the 16th Finance Commission. Over the next 1 year, you will see, you'll keep getting articles related to 16th Finance Commission. It's supposed to give its report by October 2025. तो एक बार रिपोर्ट आएगा तब हम पढ़ेंगे. तो what UPSC does is we will look at the question PYQ related to Finance Commission. When the 15th Finance Commission was formed, they asked कि Finance Commission बनता कैसे है and what is the term of reference of the 15th Finance Commission. So now they may ask you Finance Commission बनता कैसे है and what is the term of reference of 16th Finance Commission. So we'll understand that factual part also, and then we'll understand the key challenges, key issues the Finance Commission is facing. Then you must have also read certain things about the Great Nicobar project. We'll understand the entire project, the good things, the limitations about the project, and what should be the way forward. How should we be going ahead in this? So ये तीन आज mains के topic हैं. It's going to take around 1.5 hours, and then we have a few prelims related topics. It's going to take half an hour. So today we'll take this session for 2 hours, finishing these things. Should we start with prelims facts first? है ना, छोटे छोटे facts हैं. Let's finish it. The first topic that we want to discuss is, I think it was in news yesterday, Vagh nakh. Am I pronouncing it correctly? People from Maharashtra may correct me. Nahi? Nakh. Okay. Vagh nakh. Vagh is a Marathi term for बाघ. हिंदी में जो बाघ होता है ना, टाइगर, और नाक is for नाखून. तो टाइगर क्लॉ. This Vagh nakh, this device that you see here is known as Vagh nakh. अभी न्यूज में क्यों था? It is said that Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj used this Vagh nakh to kill Afzal Khan, and the device that he used was in a British museum. It has been brought back. You will see the iconic Vagh nakh or tiger claw used by Maratha warrior king Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was brought to India from London on July 17, 2024. And then there's a controversy associated with it. Controversy क्या है कि ये genuine वाला है या नहीं है. So let us understand. It will take us 5 minutes to look at all these things. Let us understand the entire thing. So first of all, what is Vagh nakh? It's a weapon shaped like tiger claw and is believed to have been wielded by the renowned Maratha warrior King Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and he may have used it during the Battle of Pratapgarh while killing Afzal Khan, the Bijapur Sultanate general. Okay, ये तो historical वाला aspect है कि where it was used, why it is so popular. You may have seen various images where एक लंबा चौड़ा Afzal Khan and Shivaji Maharaj is using this Vagh nakh to kill that person. Okay, now this was in a British museum. It was in Victoria and Albert Museum in London, and it has been under an MOU brought to India for 3 years. Why has it been brought to India for 3 years? Because in 2024, जब शिवाजी महाराज थ्रोन पे गए थे, उसके 350 years have been completed. To celebrate those 350 years, we have brought it back. We have brought this think back. Now the funny thing is ये अपना है. This is something which belongs to our history and we have to borrow it from a museum in London. Look at the hypocrisy. उनको शर्म आनी चाहिए ना कि ये इंडिया का ही कल्चरल एसेट है. They should just give it back. We had to borrow it for 3 months. So abhi we'll not go into that debate, but we'll go into some other debate. So the Culture Affairs Minister in the Assembly said that it was used by Maratha Empire founder. This Vagh nakh which has been brought has been used by Maratha Empire founder. Maratha Empire के founder छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज हैं, उन्होंने ये यूज किया था. But there are historians, जैसे महाराष्ट्र historian है एक इंद्रजीत सावंत. He claims that that device is already there in Satara and it is just a replica, and he gives various arguments for it. Why does he say that the original device is already here? He says, how did this device reach London? It was given to the museum in London by great grandson of James Grant Duff. James Grant Duff was a British official who was in Satara in this period 1818 to 1825. He was the British resident officer in Satara. Satara is the capital of Maratha Empire, जो बचा था after British took control. And from there he may have taken it, and then it was with his family for a long period, and his great grandson gave this device to the British Museum in 1971. That's how the museum claims that it belonged to whom? It belonged to Shivaji Maharaj. But now what does this historian say? This historian says certain things. He says there is no historical record detailing the acquisition of the Vagh nakh by Duff. Duff is acquiring it from the empire or from the kingdom. It is not mentioned anywhere. Moreover, more important argument that he gives is this: till 1943 we have regular evidence from Satara showing ki both documented evidence as well as pictographic evidence that it was there in Satara only. So he was in Satara 100 years back in 1818 to 1825, and if the original one was in Satara till 1943, it means it must be there in Satara only rather than with this person. This person just had a replica. This is a common device which everyone could have made, and he may have just got a replica made or anything else, and it is not the original device. In fact, this historian says that the original weapon is in possession of the Satara Chhatrapati family as a national heirloom and legacy of the house and race. It already exists there, and what government has brought from the museum there is just a replica. ये controversy है, because of which a few articles in Hindu and Indian Express related to this topic was there. Prelims में हमारा क्या आ सकता है कि Vagh nakh, what does it refer to? Remember, Vagh is a term for Bagh, nakh, nakhun, claw. Usse, this device has that kind of shape, that kind of structure. You may be asked this question. You may be asked because the battle of Pratapgarh and the Shivaji killing Afzal Khan is something that is being mentioned again and again. You may be asked कि भाई ये कब हुआ था ये battle? Or this Vagh nakh has been brought here to commemorate 350th anniversary of Shivaji ascending to the throne. So when did he ascend to the throne? 1674. That's why in 2024, what do we have? 350th year of his anniversary of his ascending the throne. These are certain things that may get asked in the examination. ये controversy पे prelims में सवाल पूछना थोड़ा मुश्किल है, but still we should know about this because थोड़ा अभी न्यूज में रहा था. Okay, now we'll go to another prelims facts that we briefly want to cover. We want to look at this river, Madre de Dios river. अब ये river न्यूज में नहीं था. न्यूज में क्या था? Madre de Dios region. इस region में there is this tribe, Mashko Piro tribe, which lives, and you must have In newspaper, you must have seen this image. They have been pictured again. This tribe has been pictured again. This tribe is one of the uncontacted, one of the 100 odd uncontacted tribe in the world. Uncontacted means we have not, rest of the humans have not got in touch with them. They live in which region? They live in Madre de Dios region. इस river के नाम पे ही वो region है. So that's why we briefly want to look at this river. Where is this river? If you look at this image, this is Amazon basin, Amazon river and all the tributaries which are joining Amazon. And one of the rivers, here if you'll see, here we have Peru, this country is Peru, this is Bolivia, and on the border of Peru and Bolivia, there is this river, Madre de Dios river. This river is being joined by Beni. Beni is one of its tributary. Later, this river joins Mamoré and become Madeira river, and this Madeira river eventually joins Amazon. तो हमें प्रीलिम्स में पूछा जाता है माड्रे डे डियोस रिवर कहाँ पे है? वन साउथ अमेरिका में है ना? इट्स अ ट्रिब्यूटरी टू द ट्रिब्यूटरी ऑफ अमेजॉन एंड इट फॉर्म्स अ बॉर्डर बिटवीन पेरू एंड बोलिविया. इतना याद रख सकते हैं, बिकॉज वी इन एग्जाम दे में आस्क यू दिस क्वेश्चन कि माड्रे डे डियोस रीजन वाज इन न्यूज रिसेंटली. वेयर इज दैट रीजन? Yeah, they may give you 3-4 regions and 3-4 country names, and they may ask you to match them, or they may ask you how many pairs are correctly matched. So this region or this river we should have a brief idea about. But let's go to the tribe that's important for us. Masco Piro tribe. अभी भी ये barrier बन रहा है. Give me 1 second. हाँ, Masco Piro tribe. अभी जैसे आप लोग वाघ नख में मेरा प्रोनाउंसिएशन सही कर रहे थे, you won't be able to correct my pronunciation in this case. This is a tribe. अच्छा, देखो, there are some tribes in the world with which humans have still not started, rest of us have still not started interacting. They are known as uncontacted tribes. And Masco Piro tribe is considered as the largest uncontacted tribe. Means the rest of the uncontacted tribe has population of 50, 20, 100, 200. They have a population of 750. Their population is 750. They are one of the world's 100 odd uncontacted tribe. They are also known as Kuzareno people or Nomole. They are indigenous tribe of nomadic hunter-gatherers and live in remote region of the Amazon rainforest in Manu National Park in Madre the region in Peru. So where are they found? They are found in Peru. हमने अभी Madre de Dios river के बारे में पढ़ा, उसी river के नाम पे this region has been named. Now their population is roughly around 750 and they are the largest uncontacted tribe. Government of Peru has prohibited any contact with them. Peru is prohibiting people to get in touch with them. Why? Because they have not developed immunity against a lot of diseases against which we have developed immunity, and they are reclusive. They do not get in touch कि हम सबको vaccinate कर देंगे वो सारी चीज. They are uncontacted tribe. So if I go and I start meeting them, और भाई कैसा है, my body has a lot of bacteria, a lot of viruses which they have never been in touch with, and they may impact them and their population. Their entire population may suffer. For this reason, the Peru government has prohibited all kinds of contact with the Masco Piro people, fearing that disease among population may, because they do not have immunity, the disease may create problems for them. In 2002, they also created a Madre de Dios territorial reserve to protect the territory of the Masco Piro people. They have created a protected area in a way कि वहाँ पे will not allow any other human activity to prevent any kind of interference in their way of life. The tribe is also very reclusive, and few basic things that we know about them, we know with the help of Yain people. Yain is other group of people who live in that region, and they sometimes contact them. In fact, Yain people also take care of Masco Piro. How do they do that? They say they will do agriculture. At the corner of their agricultural land, they will plant some fruits and vegetables के plants for Mashko-Piro people. So they'll not get in contact, but they'll be using them. That's a tradition that these Yain people had been following. So these people, the Mashko-Piro people, sometimes get in touch with Yains, and we know about Mashko-Piro through these Yains. But अब the question is concerns. जैसे this image that was taken recently, they are coming out of their region. Why are they coming out of their region? They're coming out of their region. Like the first thing is, we have created a territorial reserve. Peru government has created a territorial reserve for them, but a lot of the region, a lot of places where they live are already outside this reserve. Moreover, what is happening is, a lot of land in a lot of region here, logging concessions have been given. That is, companies have been given rights to cut trees. So even in their areas, this tree cutting is happening, and they have to come out, and that's why they were pictured recently. This group of people were pictured recently, and it became a big news. Abhi last week only, you must have read it in the newspapers. Okay, so a recent sighting is a cause of concern. It's not something to be happy about, because we are damaging their way of life, we are hampering their way of life, and they have to come out because of the destruction of the rainforest there. Okay, now let's go to एक biodiversity में topic था spade toothed whale वाला. You must have seen this image also in the newspaper recently. आप लोग newspaper पढ़ रहे हैं कि नहीं? You have to spend 45 minutes to 1 hour every day on newspaper, है ना? ये छोटे छोटे facts जो आते हैं newspaper में, you must have, you should be एक बार पता होना चाहिए before you come to class. Okay, what is so special about this spade toothed whale? Why are we discussing it? This is the world's rarest whale that we know of. No one knows where they live, no one knows what they eat. In fact, we have never seen a living whale. Sometimes they get washed off to the coast, and from there we know them. And ये पहली बार हुआ है. We have been able to collect, or scientists have been able to collect a whale which can be dissected. Otherwise, what was happening till now, this whale, this species, even if it washed off onto the coast, it was buried before scientists could get access to it. Why were they buried? Because this whale was confused with other whales. So अगर ये dead body open में खुले में पड़ी रहेगी, it will create unnecessary challenges, problems. So they were buried even before scientists could take a body or in that condition that it could be dissected. But for the first time, scientists have been able to get access to a body which is in good shape, which can be dissected, and there they'll be able to see what do they eat. To understand what do I eat, if you dissect my body in my stomach, whatever I have eaten, that is getting digested. You'll be able to know what do I eat. ये पहली बार हुआ है कि something like this has happened. Where has it happened? In the northern islands of New Zealand. Okay, now एक और चीज जाते हैं, एक और चीज पढ़ते हैं, रोजवुड. आपको पता है शीशम, you know शीशम is one of the rosewood tree. शीशम का जो पेड़ होता है वो एक रोजवुड का पेड़ होता है. रोजवुड होता क्या है? अच्छा, नोटिस समथिंग, हैव यू सीन शीशम का प्लांट? जो शीशम नहीं देखा है? शीशम नहीं देखा? कितने लोगों ने शीशम नहीं देखा? कहाँ रहते हो? आपने भी नहीं देखा? शीशम तो इज वेरी कॉमन इन रूरल इंडिया, नॉर्थ इंडिया में भी बहुत कॉमन है. इट्स वेरी एक्सपेंसिव ऑल्सो. यू मस्ट हैव सीन, यू नॉट परहैप्स रिकॉलिंग इट. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता कि आप हरियाणा, राजस्थान, उत्तर प्रदेश इन एरियाज में रह रहे हो एंड यू हैवंट सीन शीशम, और बिहार और झारखंड. सीरियसली, कहां से हो आप कहां से हो? यूपी में शीशम नहीं है? कैसी बात है? चलिए, लेट्स गो देयर, लेट्स गो टू Google and see some of its images. शीशम, अच्छा पता भी कैसे चलेगा? Let me go to images. ये वाला पेड़, if you can recall it by leaves, नहीं? अब ये तो हाइब्रिड शीशम हो गया. अब like I remember in my childhood, no, हमें कोई बोल देता था कि ये शीशम की लकड़ी है, लाइक इसका बैट बनाते बहुत टाइम तक चलेगा. We used to do this because शीशम is known for its very strong wood. है ना. चलो आपने अब देखा ही नहीं तो मैं आपको क्या कॉन्टेक्स्ट दूं. छोड़ो, आ जाओ टेक्निकली पढ़ो तुम रोजवुड. व्हाट इज रोजवुड? देखो अपना ये जो फैमिली है लेग्यूमिनोसे फैमिली. अच्छा, व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू टीच यू राइट नाउ इन नेक्स्ट 2 टॉपिक्स. यूपीएससी ने पिछले 3 साल में इस पे 3 क्वेश्चन पूछे हैं प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जामिनेशन में. अभी पढ़ते हैं ये टॉपिक और नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. रोजवुड एंड लेग्यूमिनेसे फैमिली, देर बोथ कनेक्टेड. यू विल सी. अभी दिस ईयर इन 2024 प्री दे आस्क्ड अ क्वेश्चन, पी फैमिली में इनमें से कौन कौन सी स्पीसीज है. पी की फैमिली कौन सी है? दिस फैमिली, फेबेसिया फैमिली और लेग्यूमिनेसे फैमिली. देन अ फ्यू इयर्स बैक दे हैड आस्क्ड अ क्वेश्चन कि यार व्हिच ऑफ देम इज नाइट्रोजन फिक्सिंग इन नेचर. इनमें से कौन सी स्पीसीज नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन में इन्वॉल्व होती है. तो leguminous plants are involved there. Shisham also does some small amount of nitrogen fixation. But let's not get diverted. Let's first understand rosewood. क्या है? Rosewood is a commercial term that is used for various the timber that we get from Leguminose family. और अब you may say कि सर Leguminose family में तो दाल आता है, दाल के तो shrubs होते हैं. No, in this family there are trees also. Some of those trees are hardwood trees and from there the wood that you get is rosewood. अब आप मूंग की दाल का प्लांट काट के जो वुड निकालोगे, that's not rosewood. Please understand this. Are we getting it? So though they belong to the same family, they all, so here what are we saying? We are not saying that all the plants of Leguminose genus will give you rosewood. No, we are saying इस जीनस के कुछ हार्डवुड ट्रीज है जो हम जिसके लॉग्स का कमर्शियल नेम इज रोजवुड. आर वी गेटिंग इट? आर वी अंडरस्टैंडिंग इट? तो रोजवुड इज अ कमर्शियल ट्रेड टर्म यूज्ड टू डिस्क्राइब टिम्बर फ्रॉम अ रेंज ऑफ ट्रॉपिकल हार्डवुड्स इन द लेग्यूमिनेसे फैमिली. नाउ ट्रेडिशनली इट वाज यूज्ड इन Asia for making furniture, for making musical instruments, and it was overexploited. When the population here started reducing, what happened? The world moved to its relatives in South America, Africa, etc. अब most of the क्या, all genuine rosewood belong to which genus? Genus Delbergia. अपना जो शीशम का पेड़ होता है उसे भी उसका साइंटिफिक नेम है Delbergia sishu. तो all the genuine rosewoods belong to which genus? Delbergia genus. कुछ और प्लांट्स को कुछ लाइक इन दी लेग्यूमिनेसे फैमिली. अच्छा, जस्ट 1 सेकेंड. यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस नो? विद इन वन फैमिली देयर विल बी मेनी जीनसेस एंड विद इन वन जीनस देयर विल बी मेनी स्पीसीज. दिस वी अंडरस्टैंड. तो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज हमारे लेग्यूमिनेसे फैमिली में there is one genus Delbergia genus. इस फैमिली में और भी जीनसेस हैं जिसमें मूंग दाल, मसूर दाल, मटर, सोयाबीन, all of them are in Leguminaceae family only. All of them are in Leguminaceae family only. Please note it. But we are saying कि जो genuine rosewoods हैं, they only belong to Delbergia genus. In some other genus also we may be getting timber, and they in the market they may be called rosewood because they have similar properties. But all genuine rosewood belong to which genus? Delbergia genus. Now, did we understand it? Did you understand what we are trying to say? Now, all genuine rosewood belong to genus Delbergia. Now, the most popular one is Delbergia nigra, which is also known as Brazilian rosewood or Bahia rosewood. It's found in South America and is known for strong sweet smell. The reason why this wood is called rosewood. Rose तो गुलाब के नाम है, so why this would be called rosewood? It will be called rosewood because of this sweet smell. Then another famous one, so Delbergia nigra or Brazilian rosewood or Bahia rosewood is one of the famous rosewoods. Another one is Delbergia latifolia or also known as East Indian rosewood. ये इंडिया में एंड इंडोनेशिया में it's pretty common. And it is also grown in other parts of the world, जैसे Nigeria, Kenya, Vietnam, Philippines. It is grown as ornamental plant and also in plantation for harvesting purpose, for logging purposes. Then we have डलबर्गिया शिशु और शीशम. शीशम मैं आपको ना गारंटी देता हूं, आप लोग जितने लोगों को नहीं पता, आप अपने पेरेंट्स को बोलना मुझे शीशम नहीं पता, तुम्हें मुर्गा बना के पीटेंगे. हाउ कैन यू से दैट यू डू नॉट नो शीशम? Like at least the people who live in North, I live in North India and in every state, in Haryana, in every village we see शीशम का पेड़ है. बचपन में हम शीशम के पेड़ के नीचे गर्मियों में खेले हैं यार. शीशम is this common. So I'm not sure, like though it must be found in South India also, but in North India it's definitely there. आप जाके अपने पेरेंट्स को आज बोलना मुझे शीशम क्या है पता नहीं था, सर ने मजाक उड़ाया, पेरेंट्स भी ये बोलेंगे तुम डिजर्व करते हो मजाक उड़वाना. ये देखो जो तुम रास्ते में चल के जाते हो, रास्ते में 4 शीशम के पेड़ मिलेंगे. हाँ, they will tell you that. तो शीशम is also a genuine rosewood because it belongs to which genus? Delbergia genus. उसका साइंटिफिक नेम क्या है? Delbergia shishu. It's देखो Latifolia was East Indian rosewood. This is North Indian rosewood. Its timber is extremely dense and has mild rot resistance. Due to its, it is used for making cabinets and flooring and for carving due to its afterwork quality. When sealed and dyed, it is often sold as genuine rosewood and teak also. Now, because of its strong nature, heavy nature, rot resistance nature, it is used for many purposes, for making guitars. Rosewoods are used for making guitars. Guitar का जो wooden part होगा, that will be of this recorders, handles, furnitures, luxury, floorings, etc. may be made out of rosewood. अभी न्यूज में क्यों था? न्यूज में ये था, डाउन टू अर्थ में आर्टिकल था कि साइट्स, सर न्यूज में आते हैं, जुलाई 2024 वाले पार्ट में आते हैं. डू वी अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट साइट्स इज? साइट्स, कन्वेंशन ऑन इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड इन एंडेंजर्ड स्पीसीज. नाम ध्यान से समझो, कन्वेंशन ऑन इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड इन एंडेंजर्ड स्पीसीज. What is this convention about? This convention is about कि भाई because of international trade, endangered species should not get further threatened. So they will impose restriction on international trade on various endangered species. So what they do in CITES, they have 3 appendix. Appendix 1, Appendix 1, Appendix 2 and Appendix 3. And protection level is highest in Appendix 1. एक species अगर Appendix 1 में है, then its trade is almost impossible. In exceptional circumstances, it may be traded, but it's almost impossible because for its trade to occur, the sending country and receiving country both should approve it. जैसे if we'll talk about tiger, tiger is in CITES Appendix 1. Lion, CITES Appendix 1. Right? Then we have Appendix 2. Appendix 2 में there will be lesser protection, but they are also getting protected under Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. And all the rosewood species of Delbergia genus are where in Appendix 2. Means वो protected है, except one, Brazilian rosewood. That is in Appendix 1. जो Brazilian rosewood था ना, पहला वाला, उसको छोड़ के सारे Delbergia genus के rosewoods कहाँ protected है? Appendix 2 में protected है CITES के. Right? In future, we will study CITES in a lot of detail. Today's class focus is not CITES. Today's class focus is rosewood. Understanding rosewood. Okay. So if I come back here, many of the rosewood species are listed in CITES Appendix 2 due to concerns about the impact of trade on their survival. Because their products are demanded so much, they are traded a lot, and their trade may lead to these species becoming threatened. These species becoming threatened and thus moving towards extinction, and therefore its trade needs to be restricted, and that's why they are added in CITES Appendix 1 or Appendix 2. जैसे all Delbergia species except Delbergia nigra or the Brazilian rosewood is in Appendix 2. ये वाला Delbergia nigra कहाँ पे है? Appendix 1 में है. ऐसे ही all African population of Afzelia, Khaya, Pterocarpus species, they are all also listed in appendix 2. They are protected species. और इसी पे अभी in July 2024 CITES issued guidelines during 27th meeting of the plants committee. CITES का एक plants committee है, it did studies on rosewood and it issued guidelines about its protection. News was that, but अब ये ना क्या guidelines थी, that's not very important. You will see the secretariat was instructed to focus on capacity building efforts for CITES listed rosewood species. General चीजें हैं. What they'll ask you is what is rosewood, in which family does it belong, है ना, what are its characteristics, latifolia ईस्ट इंडियन रोजवुड कौन सा होता है या फिर नॉर्थ इंडियन रोजवुड कौन सा. यू शुड बी एबल टू आंसर दोस थिंग. दिस गाइडलाइन इज नॉट दैट क्रूशियल बट इट ब्रिंग्स द टॉपिक ऑफ रोजवुड इन न्यूज. नाउ रोजवुड बिलोंग टू विच फैमिली? Leguminaceae. If I go here, Leguminous family और Fabaceae family, है ना. इस फैमिली पे यूपीएससी हैव रेगुलरली आस्क्ड क्वेश्चंस. अभी मैं आपको क्वेश्चंस के बारे में बात करता हूं. पहले लेट्स कम टू दिस फैमिली, Fabaceae फैमिली और Leguminaceae फैमिली. एक फैमिली में मेनी जीनसेस है. तो Delbargia genus is also a genus within this family. This year in preliminary examination they had asked a question, which of the following are in P family? P family कौन सी फैमिली है? Leguminaceae फैमिली ही है. फैमिली तो एक ही होगी ना, उसमें मटर है. So they had asked a question, which of the following fall in P family, right? So this family, Fabaceae family, जितने भी फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स हैं वर्ल्ड में और जितने भी फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स की फैमिलीज हैं, उसमें से थर्ड लार्जेस्ट इज Fabaceae फैमिली और Leguminaceae फैमिली. द टू लार्जेस्ट वंस आर Orchidaceae फैमिली, Asteraceae फैमिली, बट इसमें जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. इट इज वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट type of flowering plant in the world with 19,000 known legume species which contribute to 7% of flowering plant species. Of all the flowering plants that exist on earth, 7% are of this family. ये बात समझ में आई? First. Then the family includes a number of plants that are common in agriculture. Soybean, beans, pea, chickpeas, lentils, हॉर्स ग्राम्स. लेंटिल्स अपने मसूर की जो दाल होती है, दैट्स लेंटिल. हॉर्स ग्राम, टैमरिंड, इमली. इफ यू हैव लुक्ड एट इमली, इमली का भी स्ट्रक्चर वैसे होता है जैसे मटर वाला होता है. इट्स अ बिट सॉलिड एंड इट्स अ बिट खट्टा इनसाइड. इट्स नॉट लाइक मटर बट स्ट्रक्चर वाइज. इफ यू हैव लुक्ड एट शीशम, आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट शीशम. शीशम का जो सीड होता है, इट्स लाइक मटर को लेके उसके ऊपर ट्रक चला दो, इट विल बिकम वेरी थिन, फ्लैट. शीशम के प्लांट का सीड वैसा होता है. टैमरिंड, सोचो सारी चीजें ना, यू विल फाइंड सिमिलैरिटी देयर. और मूंगफली, ग्राउंडनट आल्सो बिलोंग्स टू दिस. तो यू विल सी हियर पी, चिकपीस, लेंटिल्स, हॉर्स ग्राम, टैमरिंड, अल्फाल्फा, पीनट, फेनुग्रीक, क्लोवर, दे ऑल बिलोंग टू दिस फैमिली. एक क्वेश्चन आया था आई थिंक 2022 में या 2019 में कि इनमें से कौन सा लेग्यूमिनस प्लांट है, और उसमें ऑप्शन में ये भी था कि क्लोवर था, ऑप्शन में अल्फाल्फा था, अल्फाल्फा. नाउ इफ यू हैवंट स्टडीड इट बिकम्स अ बिट डिफिकल्ट. आई वाज एबल टू डू इट वेरी इजीली बिकॉज उसमें एक ऑप्शन था स्पिनच का, एंड आई न्यू कि स्पिनच नहीं है. एंड द मोमेंट यू रिमूव स्पिनच एवरीथिंग वाज सॉल्वेबल, राइट. स्पिनच तो अपना क्या होता है? व्हाट इज स्पिनच? पालक होता है ना. इतना क्या, मतलब इतने अनपढ़ लोग आए हैं मेरे पास. अबे जीनस नहीं पूछा मैंने, स्पिनच क्या होता है ये पूछा. पालक होता है ना. उसके कभी आपने फल नहीं देखे ना, ऐसे मूंगफली जैसे निकल रहे हैं, मटर जैसे निकल रहे हैं, दाल जैसे नहीं देखे ना. इट्स नॉट अ लेग्यूमिनस थिंग. बाय दैट यू कुड हैव गेस्ड दैट, बट सपोज स्पिनच वाज नॉट एन ऑप्शन, कुछ और भी चीज रह जाती तब भी. नाउ यू शुड नोट इट केयरफुली. दीज आर व्हाट दिस फैमिली हैज ऑल दिस. ये दाल वाले, मूंगफली वाले जैसे स्पीसीज है, दे ऑल बिलोंग टू दिस. एंड वी नो लेग्यूमिनस प्लांट्स आर नोन फॉर व्हाट? नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन. इस पे भी यूपीएससी में क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है. तो 3 क्वेश्चंस इन लास्ट 5 years they have asked only on this family. Now how do these leguminous plants do nitrogen fixation? इनके रूट्स में दे हैव a nodule. They have a structure called nodules. In those nodules live these bacteria called rhizobia. These rhizobia bacteria do what? They convert nitrogen in our air, in our atmosphere. Which is the gas which is most common? Nitrogen. It's a non-reactive gas. When you are breathing in air, you are taking a lot of nitrogen in. But when you are exhaling, वो सारा nitrogen बाहर भी आ जा रहा है. A small part of the air that you breathe in is oxygen. That oxygen is going to your lungs, is getting into your blood and is going in different parts of your body. वहाँ पे oxidation हो, respiration हो रहा है, oxidation हो रहा है, and that oxygen is oxidizing your food source to CO2 and CO2 is coming out. But when you are exhaling, and nitrogen that went in is also coming out. So nitrogen is not a very reactive gas, but we need nitrogen compounds as fertilizers. So that nitrogen needs to be converted into nitrates, and these bacteria do it naturally. These bacteria will convert nitrogen from atmosphere into nitrate or ammonia. This process is known as nitrogen fixation. तो हमारे soil में nitrogen fixation means increasing the quantity of nitrogen and thus increasing the fertility of our soil. This bacteria thus is in a symbiotic relation with our leguminous plant. The legume acts as host and the bacteria acting as a provider of usable nitrate form a symbiotic relation. Right? Bacteria is providing them nitrogen and the legume is providing space and food for this bacteria. There is this symbiotic relation that exists. Right? Again, when we will study biodiversity, we will study this topic in lot more detail. We will study nitrogen cycle. There we will study this in lot more detail. But if you already know what? If you already know कि nitrogen fixing leguminous plants वाली चीजें, in the roots of leguminous plants there will be nodules where this bacteria would be living. This bacteria will do what? It will convert nitrogen into nitrate or ammonia and thus will do fixing, because our plants cannot directly use nitrogen. हमारे plants nitrogen directly use नहीं कर सकते. That nitrogen has to be converted into nitrate or ammonia for this to be successful. Okay, now रोड के किनारे खड़े होते हैं यहाँ हरियाणा में. हाँ एग्जैक्टली, वी आर सिटी ब्रेड. अच्छा, शिंगेकी सिंह सर शीशम देखा हुआ है ना, नाम नहीं पता. हाँ दैट मे ऑल्सो बी ट्रू. मतलब इन दिल्ली ओनली यू मे हैव सीन शीशम यार. मतलब शायद ओआरएन में ही वो 2-4 पेड़ लगे होंगे शीशम के, आपने देख लिए होंगे, बस आपको नाम नहीं पता. तो यू आर okay. Anyways, let's come back. So I hope rosewood is also in this family. Suppose a question comes, shisham is nitrogen fixing in nature, true or false? True. To some extent it does it. It's not as common. जैसे आप दाल उगाते हो तो दाल will do nitrogen fixation, lentils will do it. Shisham also does it to some extent, and that's why shisham is a popular species when it comes to, suppose there's a wasteland and you want to increase the fertility of that wasteland. तो एक तो fertilizer डालो, दूसरा है grow shisham there. If you grow shisham there, there will be some nitrogen fixing done. This nitrogen fixing will increase the fertility of the wasteland. Shisham is also used for that purpose. है ना? आज इतना शीशम सुन लिया, अब शायद look at those pictures carefully and you will see around your homes there are शीशम. नीम सबने देखा है? नीम से ज्यादा कॉमन होगा शीशम. I assure you of that. नीम क्योंकि आपको पता है वो कड़वा सा, वो येलो वाले फ्लावर्स वाला एंड विद फ्रूट्स वाला, you know it, but शीशम is more common than नीम. है ना? ऐसे परेशान हो आप कि ये क्या हो गया? Because नीम से you're directly extracting something, तो you know it. आम का पेड़ सबने देखा होगा, right? Because you look at the fruits and हाँ, I know it. Shisham you have not used directly and that's why you feel like shisham you haven't seen. ओके, क्या हुआ है इसे? चलिए, तो लास्ट टॉपिक फॉर प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जामिनेशन, गैलेथिया नेशनल पार्क। ये ना अभी हम वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी व्हाट, वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी ग्रेट निकोबार प्रोजेक्ट। वहां पे गैलेथिया नेशनल पार्क के बारे में पढ़ेंगे थोड़ा सा, देन विल कम टू दिस टॉपिक। लेट्स गो टू आवर मेंस टॉपिक्स। सबसे पहले जॉब रिजर्वेशन फॉर लोकल्स, द इशू ऑफ जॉब रिजर्वेशन फॉर लोकल्स। तो government of Karnataka or the cabinet of Karnataka has recently, cabinet of the state government of Karnataka has recently approved a bill reserving jobs for locals there, people who are domiciled in Karnataka. But then there was opposition from industries, opposition from trade bodies, and they have put it on hold for now. They have put it on hold. तो अभी हम उस पर डिटेल्स में आएंगे, बट फर्स्ट थिंग, इफ अ क्वेश्चन जॉब रिजर्वेशन फॉर लोकल्स कम्स, व्हाट आर द वेज इन विच वी विल इंट्रोड्यूस इट? वी कैन, देखो हमने कल बात करी थी, वी विल आइदर डिफाइन जॉब रिजर्वेशन फॉर लोकल्स or we'll give context. In this question, giving context is more useful, right? You're talking about in what scenario are we discussing it. So I have given you two introduction here. एक context based intro, अब आपको अपने आंसर में नहीं लिखना है, ये जाके लिखोगे context based intro, आपको अपने आंसर में इंट्रोडक्शन भी नहीं लिखना होता है, बस इंट्रोड्यूस करना शुरू करना होता है, राइट? पता लगे कि सब कॉन्टेक्स्ट बेस्ड इंट्रो लिख रहे हो जाके। ये आपको समझाने के लिए कि आई हैव गिवन यू टू टाइप्स ऑफ इंट्रोडक्शन, वन by defining what job reservation for locals means, one by giving the current context in which we are discussing this topic. So you'll see in recent years several states in India have taken initiatives to reserve some jobs for locals. This was done by Andhra Pradesh in 2019, Haryana in 2020. Haryana वाला एक्ट फोर्स में 2022 में आया था, बट द बिल वाज passed in 2020 only. झारखंड in 2023, झारखंड वाला बिल अभी फोर्स में नहीं आया है. The law of Haryana to give 75% reservation to locals in private jobs, जहां पे salary was less than 30,000 rupees, was declared unconstitutional by Punjab and Haryana High Court in November 2023. Abhi 7 months back, they said it's violating fundamental rights of citizens and thus it's unconstitutional. In the past, Supreme Court has declared many such laws as unconstitutional. अभी हम कुछ ऐसे examples भी देखेंगे. Still, Karnataka cabinet recently approved a bill to reserve jobs in private sector for locals, which was later put on temporary hold. Temporary hold, that's important. They have not said that we are withdrawing it altogether. It has been put on temporary hold after protest from business heads and trade unions. Context देके आपने उस टॉपिक को इंट्रोड्यूस किया. अब ये थोड़ा ज्यादा बड़ा हो गया बिकॉज हेयर आई वांटेड टू कवर एवरीथिंग. इन योर केस यू विल से इन रीसेंट ईयर्स इंडिया में बहुत सारे स्टेट्स जॉब लोकल्स को जॉब रिजर्वेशन देने के लिए बिल्स या लॉज लेके आए हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल हरियाणा, झारखंड, आंध्र प्रदेश. द लेटेस्ट वन टू डू इट इज कर्नाटका. दिस इज गुड इनफ एज अ कॉन्टेक्स्ट बेस्ड इंट्रोडक्शन. फिर उसके बाद what is good about it, what is bad about it, we'll discuss that. We'll go to what has been asked in the question after introducing the topic. Second thing, second way in which we can introduce this topic. Second, that is by defining what is job reservation for locals. Simple. Job reservation for local refers to the practice of mandating that a certain percentage of job in private companies be reserved for individuals who are local or locals, that is, who are domiciled in that particular state. It's a very controversial policy and has a lot of negative implications also. But for now, for first thing, let us understand why it is done. Why is it done? What is the reason for doing this? हरियाणा ने ऐसा क्यों किया था 2020 में कि they did not reserve all jobs. CEO की जॉब भी रिजर्व कर दी नहीं. They said people who are getting lower salaries. Initially they said up to 50,000, but later they reduced it to 30,000. 30,000 से कम सैलरी वाली जितनी जॉब्स हैं उनमें 75% should be reserved for people from Haryana. ऐसी in case of Karnataka they have come up with some number. Those numbers are not relevant for us. Please understand, ना तो UPSC प्री में पूछेगा ना UPSC मेंस में वो डेटा पूछेगा, वो डेटा याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. बस समझो कि these states have brought such law. Why do they bring it? They bring it because they want to help their own voters. जो locals हैं वो उस गवर्नमेंट के वोटर्स हैं, and they want that they should be able to get jobs, they should be able to get skills. When they'll work, they will because of industries efforts in providing them skills and because of government's efforts in providing them skills, they will get skilling opportunities. पहला रीजन ये है कि why do they do this. दूसरा है, it is said that when industries come in some place, let's say सोनीपत में industries आई हैं, तो whose land was occupied? Land of locals was occupied. So one argument that is given is then they should have the first right on jobs that is creating there, rather than workers from Jharkhand, Bihar, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh coming and getting jobs there. Another reason that is given is कि it will, जैसे in sometimes what happens, because of a lot of migration, demography of the region changes. Right? Shiv Sena once used to protest in Maharashtra, in Bombay, in Mumbai, that यहाँ पे मराठी culture is getting sidelined because of a lot of South Indians being there, or because of a lot of Hindi speaking people being there. For that reason, that is another reason that is given for reserving jobs for local. Another very important point is, generally these businesses discriminate against locals. They don't give jobs to locals because it's easy for them to exploit migrants. Jैसे in my hometown Bhiwadi में local community there is of Gujars, and there are lots of migrant people. अब एक manager of the company will thrash a migrant worker, कोई भी दो थप्पड़ लगा देगा, but this manager will not be able to do this kind of exploitation with the local. वो अपने 5 भाइयों को लाके इसे बाहर पकड़ के पीटेगा. This is generally what happens. So what do businesses do? They prefer to hire outsiders because they can exploit them. But with this kind of reservation, the chances of this exploitation would reduce. These are some of the arguments given for why job reservation for locals. Primary reason होता है vote bank politics. ये सारे arguments दिए जाते हैं, but vote bank politics is one of the reasons because of which these kind of job reservation for local initiatives are launched. One of the best coaching institute of Vagh and ORN. I am also student of LevelUp. LevelUp teachers are a lot hardworking. तुमसे कोई पूछ रहा है क्या ऐसा? नहीं, ऊपर किसी ने पूछा हो कैसा है ये इंस्टीट्यूशन, है ना? नहीं, कोई नहीं, अपने आप से बता रहा है. अच्छा है. तो वन ऑफ द बेस्ट क्यों बोल रहे हैं? बेस्ट होने चाहिए ना, है ना? वन ऑफ द बेस्ट में और भी 2-4 हैं क्या? कौन से वाले? मैं जानना चाहता हूँ. मैं कुछ नहीं करवा, मैं बोलूंगा निखिल सर हिस्ट्री पढ़ा रहे हैं, बताओ कौन हिस्ट्री पढ़ा रहा है तुम्हारे. मैच विल बी ओवर. वी हैव एन एस. बाकी सबका कंपैरिजन हो जाएगा, हमारे हिस्ट्री की टीम का कंपैरिजन किसी से नहीं हो सकता. इट्स दैट ग्रेट. सिंपल. ना आप लोग पढ़े नहीं है ना अभी तक? पढ़ोगे तो आपको समझ में आएगा. और जो लोग पढ़े हैं वो किसी और से अभी तक पढ़े नहीं होंगे, नहीं तो समझ में आता कि people appreciate us more जो बाकी जगह पढ़ चुके हैं और फिर यहाँ आते हैं, because they are able to see the difference. जो सीधा हमसे पढ़ना शुरू कर रहे हैं, they are not able to see the difference. तो उन्हें ज्यादा समझ में नहीं आता कि यार क्यों अच्छे हैं, है ना अपूर्व? अब बाकी जगह पढ़े हुए हो ना? बाकी जगह नहीं पढ़े हुए हो तो you are not appreciating us. You are appreciating. चलिए, तो did we understand the reasons कि why, what are the reasons, what are the arguments given for giving job reservations to the local people? कि भाई उनको jobs, उनको skills मिलने चाहिए. They have the first right over it because they are the ones who lost their land, who lost their property, who had to give up these things, right? it's also important to protect local culture, local language, and if a lot of migration happens, that may get threatened. And this will also reduce the discrimination against locals which industrialists do, because industries can easily exploit migrant workers which they cannot do with the locals. Are we getting this? But then there are some problems also, and that's why we just said ki High Court of Punjab and Haryana had declared 75% job reservation for locals in Haryana to be unconstitutional. उन्होंने declare किया था ना. What are the reasons that they gave? They gave all the legal constitutional reasons. तो सबसे पहले legal constitutional reasons समझ लेते हैं कि why this job reservation for locals is problematic, is violating constitution, is violating laws. पहले violating constitution, first of all, Article 35 of the constitution says state cannot make this kind of law. If domiciled based reservation has to be given, the law on that can only be made by Parliament. That is the first thing. Article 35 bars state from legislating on requirement of domicile in employment. There is a specific bar to the legislature of the state to not make any law in respect of matters which are under Article 16(3). Article 16(3) में ये बोला गया है कि domicile based reservation हो सकता है, but the law on that will be made by Parliament. Then it's also violating right to equality. Right to equality में there is equality before law, there is equal protection of law. Right? अब there is one person from Haryana, there is one person from UP. अब इन दोनों को अलग, this law is treating these two people differently. These two are citizens of India, and the law in this particular state is treating these two people differently. That is violation of right to equality. Then it's also violating Article 19 of the Constitution. Article 19 of the Constitution is about various freedoms, and one of the freedoms that is given is that every citizen of India has the right to move freely throughout the territory of India and right to carry any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. वो कोई भी काम, कोई भी business, कोई भी trade कर सकता है. Here you are restricting that by saying कि 75% of the jobs would be given to locals only. And because it's violating the core values of the Constitution, it's also against the constitutional morality. That's constitutional morality, right? So these are the reasons because of which what happened. The High Court of Punjab and Haryana का same High Court है, इसलिए that's High Court of Punjab and Haryana declared this to be unconstitutional. These were the reasons given. तो सबसे पहले तो constitutional reasons हैं कि why these kind of reservation are violative of the Constitution. फिर भी देखो, it's just because of politics that Karnataka will come up with a similar law. They know that this law in the courts is going to be declared unconstitutional. In fact, in the past also, this judgment referred to the one previous judgment, State of Tamil Nadu and others versus K. Shyam Sundar and others. Here, the court had opined it is beyond the purview of the state to legislate on the issue and restrict the private employer from recruiting from the open market. Here you are telling employer 75% locals. This cannot be done. The court in the past have also said that. In which judgment? In State of Tamil Nadu and others versus K. Shyam Sundar and others judgment in 2011. So there have been past judgment. There has been this November 2023 wala judgment which has said that this kind of reservation can be unconstitutional. But then there are other challenges also. There are other issues also, other criticisms also. One is it will promote polarization in society. अभी फैक्ट्री में जाके लोग काम करते हैं, all of them work as labor. There are caste based, there are language based groups formed, but legally there is no group. But now there will be group 75% ये वाले लोग, 25% ये वाले लोग. This will promote polarization within the within the citizens of India. It will also reduce our cross regional understanding and awareness, because here what are we doing? We are preventing more people from one part of the country to go into other part of the country and work. So it will have negative social implication, plus it will have negative economic implication also. For a business, it's very important that they have a large talent pool, and from there they are able to get people. But when you say कि only 75% or most 75% of the people will be locals only, talent pool has been reduced. This may lead to these businesses not investing here. In fact, when this bill was being introduced, I was speaking to one of the friends. He's a great admirer of Chandrababu Naidu. And he said, Chandrababu Naidu has a great opportunity now. Amravati unhe as a capital develop karna hai. If Bangalore mein, agar Karnataka mein these kind of things happen, then he'll be able to attract businesses there, attract investments there. Where? Amravati. कि यहाँ पे we will not put any such restriction कि आप किसको hire कर रहे हो, क्या कर रहे हैं. What would happen if in Karnataka this had happened? Investment opportunities in Karnataka would have been reduced. Then it would have opened Pandora's box where other states would have also started doing it. सिर्फ एक दो स्टेट नहीं करेंगे ना. If Karnataka does it and it remains acceptable, Tamil Nadu will also do it. And all these things may in long run impact unity and integrity of the country. Right, so what should be done? We have seen there are some reasons why it is supported. There are some reasons why it should not be supported. उसमें हमने recent high court judgment भी देखा है, supreme court judgment भी देखा है, constitutional arguments भी देखे हैं, social arguments भी देखे हैं, economic arguments भी देखे कि economically also this may be problematic. Okay. Now, yes sir, in Maharashtra they give priority to Marathi speaking people. Okay. Happening in Greater Noida too. Some companies not taking locals because locals create ruckus and violence previously, so not allowing now. It happens here in Haryana too. Grape Shot is asking a genuine question. He's saying why Parliament can make domicile reservation law but not state. It was these provisions were introduced in the constitution keeping in mind कि भाई if states would be allowed to do this, every state will create these silos. So if in some circumstances it is needed, let Parliament decide it. That's why this was the logic behind these provisions in the constitution. Sir, it is being said that there were grammatical errors also in the bill. अच्छा ठीक है. मतलब I don't know कितना है क्या है वो. I'll not comment on that, but हो सकता है. That's a possibility. Let's come back to what should be done. First, we have to follow the judicial verdicts. इससे पहले ना till before November 2023 judgment, when I used to teach about this topic, I used to say कि judiciary should do a detailed analysis and give a judgment on it, whether it's constitutional or not. अभी clarity है, it is unconstitutional. We need to follow the judicial verdict. Various high courts and Supreme Court verdicts make it clear that providing reservation on the basis of domicile may not be constitutionally sustainable and should be avoided. Then what do? We need to implement labor laws properly. Why does discrimination happens against locals? It happens because दूसरे group का exploitation easy है, पर उनका exploitation कैसे कर रहे हैं? Labor laws are there. They should be protecting. They should be ensuring that those laws should be ensuring that they are getting safe environment, that they are getting 8 hours of working shift rather than getting exploited, getting work for 16 hours. They should not be harassed. They should not be beaten. They should not be facing those challenges. So if labor laws start getting implemented properly and even migrants' basic rights are protected, there will be no reason for, or there will be less reasons for discrimination. Then implement welfare provisions of different laws. Welfare provisions matlab, जैसे we are saying कि Sonipat में when land is acquired, it is the locals who are giving up land. Ensure that locals are getting proper compensation for that. उसमें there can be provisions कि if your land is acquired, you are getting jobs, fine. Those things should get properly implemented rather than giving this argument कि now locals have the first right over the jobs, because the right was over the land and they should be getting proper compensation for that. And finally, economic recovery. All these things are happening. Why? Because there is scarcity of job. Haryana mein unemployment level is very high. Unemployment among youth is very high. And in the scarcity of job, there will be something politicians try to do to show कि देखो हम तुम्हारे लिए कुछ कर रहे हैं. And they end up taking these measures. which measures job reservation kar do. That's not going to solve problem. Problem will be solved by ensuring that youth is properly skilled, economic growth is happening, more jobs are getting created. In long term, we'll have to solve these problems to prevent these kind of laws from coming again and again. And finally, bridge regional inequalities to reduce the need of distress migration. Why do people migrate to other cities and get exploited? All those things happen. Distress migration happens because of a lot of problems in certain parts of the country. Distress migration would happen from West Bengal, it would happen from Bihar, it would happen from Eastern Uttar Pradesh. Chances of distress migration would not be there in states which are doing better economically. So we have to also promote reduce regional inequality in order to ensure that these problems of distress migration doesn't happen. Okay, so what we are saying is, in an era when we are talking about one nation, one poll, one nation, one tax, and so many similar things, reserving jobs for locals will go against this unifying tendency that we are working towards, and is not the right thing to do. Got it? I hope we have clarity over this topic. If a question related to this is asked, we'll be able to write good answer. Yahan pe if I go to the beginning of this topic, you will see I have a question here. The policy of reservation for local is a manifestation of both vote bank politics and jobless growth. Elaborate. जो ये reservation for locals की policy आ रही है, it's a manifestation of vote bank politics and jobless growth. तो आपको ये बताना है, पहले बताना है, you give a context based introduction and then say कि why, what are the reasons because of which these kind of laws are coming. These kind of laws are coming, one, for garnering votes because locals are your voters. Dusra, because a lot of jobs are not there. In the absence of jobs, youth is suffering and governments tend to take these kind of steps. Discuss the key consequences of this kind of reservation. Key consequences, you talk about the challenges, the problems that it will create, and briefly also mention how do you solve those challenges or what should be the way forward. You mentioned that. Yeah, will we be able to write an answer on this? क्या हम लोग सब comfortably इस पे एक आंसर लिख पाएंगे? Okay. Let's go to the next topic, the topic of Finance Commission. अभी 16 Finance Commission have started functioning. So over the next 1 year, you will keep on getting various articles about Finance Commission. So we should briefly understand the broad dimensions on which Finance Commission is supposed to work, so that all the newspaper articles that you will read, you will understand its basic context, its basic things which are being discussed there. आपके सिलेबस में it is clearly mentioned, constitutional bodies are clearly mentioned. तो वहां पे Finance Commission is one of the constitutional body. Then center-state relations is there. Finance Commission plays a role in promoting fiscal federalism. उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में भी आप फाइनेंस कमीशन को पढ़ सकते हो. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी भी है, तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडीज का अपॉइंटमेंट कैसे होता है आपके सिलेबस में है. दैट्स व्हाई यूपीएससी आस्क्ड अ क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड टू दैट. यूपीएससी में आल्सो आस्क इट फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ यार सेंटर स्टेट या फिस्कल फेडरलिज्म प्रमोट करने में हाउ डज फाइनेंस कमीशन प्ले अ रोल. यू शुड बी एबल टू आंसर दैट type of question also. Look at one of the PYQs here. It was asked in Mains 2018. How is Finance Commission of India constituted? Finance Commission बनता कैसे? Simple. What do you know about the terms of reference of the recently constituted Finance Commission? At that time, 15th Finance Commission was formed. अभी क्या हुआ है? 16th Finance Commission has been formed. So they may ask a similar question. Discuss about the terms of reference of the 16th or recently formed Finance Commission. So we will study this basics also. What is Finance Commission? How is it formed? What are its constituents? What is its function? 16th Finance Commission, उसका term of reference क्या है? What are all the things that it is supposed to do? It will be helping us in solving this kind of question, and then we'll do some analytical work also, where we'll understand what are the key challenges which are there in front of 16th Finance Commission to make to come up with their recommendations. or to come up with rules and regulations for distributing taxes between the center and state. What are the key challenges in that field they're facing? Why there is conflicting demands from different states? How those demands can in some way be handled? We will discuss, we will do that analysis also. तो सबसे पहले basically समझते हैं what is finance commission. If a question on finance commission comes, it's a constitutional body. जरूरी है क्या? If you can start with the constitutional provision. It's a constitutional body defined under Article 280 of the Constitution. It is formed every 5 years. जैसे एक 2017-18 में बना था, now we have in 2023-24, right? And if needed earlier also. ऐसा नहीं है कि 5 साल में ही बनेगा. If needed, it may be formed earlier also for the purpose of giving suggestion on center-state financial relation. सेंटर और स्टेट के बीच में जो फाइनेंशियल रिलेशन कैसे रहेंगे, फॉर गिविंग रिकमेंडेशन ऑन दैट. नाउ लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड द रीजन बिहाइंड इट. व्हेन यू विल सी दैट tax revenues, when you look at tax revenues, you will see that it is center which gets most of the tax revenues. States individually उनके पास बहुत कम tax revenue आता है, but states have lots of responsibilities. Health, education, welfare, a lot of things are supposed to be done by states. So states, because center has economy of scale, rather than giving tax levying and tax collection responsibility to states, most of the responsibilities are with center. So center gets a lot of resources. So when we define financial relation between center and state, we'll have to talk about how much money from center will go to states, that is vertical devolution, and then let's say center got this much money, uska hum bole ki itna percentage needs to go to states. Then how will it get distributed in states? That is also defined by, told by finance commission. So center और state का financial relations के से related recommendation is given by finance commission. अभी we'll study this thing in more detail. Let me come to the topic of vertical devolution, horizontal devolution. अभी उस पे आएंगे. We will study it. Do not worry. But first is the definition. If a question on finance commission comes, what will we say? We'll say the finance commission is a constitutional body defined under Article 280 of the Constitution. It is formed every 5 years, bracket में, if needed earlier also, for giving recommendations and suggestions on center-state financial relations. Center और state के बीच में financial relations कैसे होंगे, उस पे recommendation देने के लिए ये body बनता है. So coming back to, if suppose if I go to this question, how is Finance Commission of India constituted? कैसे बन रहा है उस पे आते हैं, but क्या हम एक introduction बता पाएंगे कि Finance Commission of India क्या है and what is its purpose? Will we be able to answer this? Now let's come to how is it appointed, how does it function. वो आते हैं. तो देखो, it is created by President of India. So it has one chairperson and 4 other members. So total 5 members, 1 chairperson, 4 other members. All of them are appointed by President of India. Now, what will be the qualification of the members of Finance Commission? Chairperson का क्या qualification होगा और बाकी चारों members का क्या qualification होगा? It's not mentioned in the Constitution of India. Constitution of India has said that Parliament by law will define it, and Parliament has passed this law, Finance Commission Miscellaneous Provision Act 1951, and have given this qualification. The chairperson of the Finance Commission should be having experience in public affairs. You will see generally ये senior IAS officers होते हैं, retired IAS officers भी होते हैं. They have experience in public affairs. Like the 15th Finance Commission was chaired by N.K. Singh. N.K. Singh was our finance secretary उससे पहले. I don't remember वो IRS officers थे, IAS officer थे, IAS officer थे, but most probably he was an IAS officer. So he was someone who was having experience in public affairs. अभी वाले केस में वो नहीं है. अभी वाले केस में vice chairperson of Niti Aayog has been appointed as the chairperson of the Finance Commission, but he also has a lot of experience in public affairs. And then other 4 members should have this qualification. One of them should be qualified as a judge of a high court, or in the past have been qualified he has that qualification जिससे या तो past में या अभी that person can become a judge of the High Court. Have knowledge of government finances or accounts. Here you will see some officer from finance ministry may be involved here. Have had experience in administration and financial expertise and have special knowledge of economics. These are the qualifications of different members. So President of India through a notification will appoint finance commission जिसमें एक chairperson होंगे, 4 members. This is how it is formed. Now each finance commission is supposed to make recommendations on the following thing. Abhi do not go into the details, just look at the heading. It is supposed to give recommendation on vertical devolution. It is supposed to give recommendation on horizontal devolution. It is supposed to give recommendations on how center's grants should be going to states. It is supposed to give recommendation on how do we augment the consolidated fund of states so that from there more money will be able to go to, or enough fund would be there for panchayats and urban local bodies and any other matter. तो ये 5 चीजें ना, vertical devolution, horizontal devolution, ये सबसे पहले तो जब आप फाइनेंस कमीशन के बारे में सोचना, vertical devolution, horizontal devolution. Then you talk about how grants, on what grounds, on what principle grants would be given to states. That is the third recommendation of finance commission. That is the third thing that finance commission is supposed to do. Fourth is how will the consolidated fund of states be strengthened. If there will be more money in consolidated fund of state, there will be more chances of money going to urban local bodies and panchayati raj institutions, and then any other thing that is referred to them. Let us understand these 5 things in more details. What they are supposed to do. सबसे पहले what is vertical devolution? The first term that we need to understand कि finance commission has been formed 5 साल में, in every 5 year we form this finance commission. What is it supposed to do? It is supposed to give recommendation on vertical devolution. What is vertical devolution? देखो center के पास ज़्यादा पैसा है, how much of that money should go to state? Center has some tax revenue, what percentage of that tax revenue should go to states? That is vertical devolution. Center से state में कितना पैसा जाना चाहिए? What percentage of center's revenue, center's tax revenue should be going to state is vertical devolution. जैसे 13th Finance Commission, whose recommendation was applicable from 2010 to 2015, had given a recommendation of 32%. That is, if center's tax collection is 100 crore, 32 crore should be going to states. 14th Finance Commission, whose recommendation was in force from 2015 to 2020, made this to 42%. Vertical devolution उन्होंने कितना कर दिया? 42%. That is, if center is getting 100 crore rupees of tax revenue, उसका 42 crore should go to states. 15th Finance Commission, whose recommendation was in force from 2020 to 2026. Generally 5 साल के लिए था, but 15th Finance Commission के केस में the recommendation will be in force for 6 years. Because COVID वाला year था, first they gave recommendation for 2020-21 and then they gave recommendation for 2021 to 26. So 15 Finance Commission's recommendation were applicable from 2020 to 26, and here the vertical devolution amount was shifted to reduced to 41%. Okay, we'll understand the reason for it. देखो, wait, क्या बोल रहे हो? Reduced no, 42 से 41 हो गया. 14th ने 42 कर दिया था. Now it was reduced to 41, no? Increase कैसे हुआ? Right. Now see, what would state want? ये vertical devolution का percentage बढ़ना चाहिए, कम होना चाहिए? They would want that it should increase. Right? Center would be like, nahi, leave some money with us. We also need money. Over the period, this percentage has kept on increasing. वो 32% था, उससे पहले 20s में कोई percent था. It was like that. But here it reduced. Actually, it was not a reduction. What happened was, suppose this is the revenue of center, tax revenue of center. Then these are all the states. These are all the states. So we are saying कि 42% of the money should have come to states. But now क्या हुआ? Jammu and Kashmir, which was a state in 2015-16, by 2020 it was a union territory, and on union territory money is directly spent by center, and that's why the share of remaining state was 41%, because the share of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh became two union territories, had to be kept with center only, and that's why this vertical devolution ka amount was reduced from 42 to 41%, but it was not actually a reduction. It was done because J&K was no more a state, it was a union territory, and union ka territory, so union will be spending money directly on it, and thus the money, thus the rest of the states will be getting slightly lesser amount. Got it? Did we understand what is vertical devolution? Every finance commission will face this problem. It will go to the states and states will say, we need more money. That will be there. Okay. I hope first function of finance commission is understood. कैसे center state financial relations पे recommendation दे रहा है. Even the 16th finance commission, when in October 2025, you would have given your mains by then, interview की तैयारी कर रहे होगे और इनका recommendation आएगा October 2025 का. You will see first recommendation will be about how much vertical devolution should happen. Perhaps increase would not happen, but there would be, abhi what is the amount? 41%. We'll see what would happen at that time. Then second thing is about horizontal devolution. Horizontal devolution क्या होता है? See, suppose the center's revenue was 100 crore rupees, 41 crore is supposed to come to states. Okay, let's say these are, this is center 100 crores, 41% through vertical devolution is supposed to come to states. ये अलग अलग states है. States of different sizes, different population, different level of per capita GDP and so on. How will this 41 crore rupees which is coming here will get distributed among states? This is horizontal devolution, and what should be the formula for it is also determined by finance commission's recommendation. So देखो अभी 2026 तक का formula already 15th finance commission ने दिया है. 16th finance commission's recommendations will be applicable from 1st of April 2026 to next 5 years. In those years center का revenue का कितना percent will go to states will be determined by vertical devolution, and then how that money will be distributed within states will be determined by horizontal devolution. So abhi the formula for by the 16th finance commission has not been given, but we have formulas for 14th and 15th finance commission. 14th and 15th finance commission ने कुछ formulas दिए थे. Now exactly for writing mains answers this data may not be useful, but to understand what to write in mains, to understand the issues, to understand the concerns, we should briefly look at how the money is distributed among states. How money comes from centers to state we understand, but how money gets distributed between states. That 41 crore rupees out of 100 crore rupees, 41 crore rupees came to center. Oh sorry, came to states. Then how much money will go to Kerala, how much money will go to Tamil Nadu, how much money will go to Chhattisgarh, how much money will go to Andhra Pradesh. All of them will not be given equal amount of money. There has to be some formula for it, and finance commission in horizontal devolution will provide that formula. जैसे 14th finance commission जो था, whose recommendation was applicable from 2015 to 2020, they gave 50% weightage to income distance. What is income distance? Average per capita GSDP इंडिया का क्या है, अलग अलग स्टेट्स का, and the state whose per capita GSDP is way below it, वहां पे income distance is higher. In order to ensure equity, they are given more money. So you will see Bihar will get more money, Jharkhand will get more money, Uttar Pradesh will get more money, Madhya Pradesh will get more money, because यहाँ पे GSDP is low than the country's average. Per capita GSDP. अच्छा, GSDP क्या है? Gross state domestic product. Gross state domestic product is how much production is happening in that state. per capita divided by the population of the state. So this state ka GSDP per capita is low. That state is having low revenue, that people there are having a low income when compared to national average. तो गवर्नमेंट विल से आप जितनी ज्यादा डिस्टेंट हो उससे आपको उतना ज्यादा पैसा मिलेगा, बिकॉज सेंटर के लिए ऑल द सिटीजन्स आर इक्वल इन एवरी स्टेट एंड दे विल ट्राई टू इंश्योर equal opportunities for them, and that is why it has 50% weightage. But it is being opposed by states which are doing well. Karnataka says that my GSDP is very high and I contribute a lot in your taxes and you are giving me pennies. So there is demand for reducing its weightage. So you would see in the 15th Finance Commission recommendation, its weightage was reduced to 45%. Right? Other aspects, they say earlier area was given a weightage of 15%. If a state is large in size, our Arunachal Pradesh has very small population, but it's a large state. It needs to spend more money to take care of that state. So area of the state will also be given some weightage. And in the 14th Finance Commission recommendation, it had 15% weightage. Even now, in the 15th Finance Commission's recommendation also, it's 15% weightage. Ab 16th Finance Commission bana hai. It will come up with its recommendation in 2025, October 2025. We'll see what 16th Finance Commission would do, whether it will increase the weightage for area or whether it will keep it same. Then population. Now, population there are two population. One is the population of 1971. So earlier, so what used to happen was a state which has higher population will need more money. So that aspect also has to be given some weightage. But South Indian states were like, we are controlling our population, आप तुम्हारा पैसा कम कर दे रहे हो. We are doing well and we are reducing the money that we are getting. It's unfair. So what was done was, government was saying ki we will consider the 1971 population. And some weightage was given to that. In 14th Finance Commission's recommendation, some weightage was given to that and some weightage was given to the latest population. But in the 15th Finance Commission recommendation, they removed the 1971 any weightage and weightage of 2011 population was increased. But it was not made equivalent to 27.5% weightage will be given to. Here population got 27.5% weightage. It was not made equivalent to that. Else the South Indian states would have been very happy and unhappy. If तुमने फिर population को इतना weightage दे दिया, again most of the money will go to them. Then there were other aspects, demographic performance. If you are reducing your fertility rate, you get more money. So to compensate those students, those states which are doing well, to promote their good performance, some weightage was also given to demographic performance. In the 14th Finance Commission recommendation, this weightage was not there. In 15th Finance Commission recommendation, they gave it. Then forest cover. 14th Finance Commission, in order to promote forest cover, did what? Forest cover has 7.5% weightage. So if your forest cover is higher, you get more money. In 15th Finance Commission recommendation, they made it more broad. They gave weightage to not forest cover. They gave weightage to forest and ecology. Because forest cover is a vague term in the sense कि अगर बहुत कम पेड़ है तब भी आप उसे forest cover बोल लोगे. They said कि no, not that. Not forest cover. How much very dense forest do you have? Share of dense forest of each state in the total dense forest of all the states will be given a weightage of 10%. And then tax and fiscal efforts. Are you meeting your fiscal deficit target and all? So efficient work has also been given some weightage. Based on this formula has been designed. 14th Finance Commission gave some other weightage to different things. 15th Finance Commission have made some changes in that weightage requirement, and by that horizontal devolution formula has been designed. Now the 16th Finance Commission will do the same for next 5 years. The new Finance Commission has been formed. It will be doing the same for next 5 years. So अब देखो exam में we do not have to write this box. I have just included it here. I have included this table here so that you people have to write your exam next year. When you will go through this table, 2-3 बार you will understand what are the different parameters on which this horizontal devolution is done. And while writing horizontal devolution, you will say during horizontal devolution, weightage is given to income distance, population, area, fiscal performance, forest and ecology, etc. ये लिख पाओगे ना कम से कम. This is what I want you to write. I do not want you to remember this weightage and recall everything. It's just for your understanding that I've included this table. You should understand how this formula is designed, how this division happens. Got it? Now, third function, third thing that Finance Commission is supposed to do is distribution of centers grant to state. Other than vertical devolution and horizontal devolution, center still has a lot of money. And just by this vertical devolution and that money getting distributed within states, states will not be able to fulfill their requirements. There are some states which will still be in revenue deficit, and those states will require grants from center, more grants from center. So what should be the criteria on the basis of which these grants should be given is also provided by Finance Commission as one of its recommendation. Then the fourth thing that the Finance Commission is supposed to do is what steps are needed to augment the consolidated fund of state. जैसे consolidated fund of India होता है, most of the revenue that government of India, all the revenue that government of India gets goes to consolidated fund of India. ऐसे ही we have consolidated fund of state. So the Finance Commission also gives recommendation on how this consolidated fund of states should be augmented. उसमें ज़्यादा resources आ पाए so that the resources of panchayats and the municipalities in the state on the basis of recommendation made by the State Finance Commission, so that there will be resources for this purpose. Which purpose? For local bodies, for local government. And then any other matters which is referred to the Finance Commission by the President. These are the 5 things that Finance Commission is supposed to technically work upon. Vertical devolution, horizontal devolution, principles on which grants should be given, how much grant should be given, augmenting the consolidated fund of states so that more funds can go for local bodies, local government, panchayati raj institutions and municipalities, and any other thing which is referred to them by the President. Does the center pass some rules or some notification to set up Finance Commission every 5 years? Yes. So President जो decision लेता है वो Finance Commission through वो Finance Ministry through a notification issues की this Finance Commission has been appointed, this person is the chairperson, and when members are appointed, these people have been appointed as member. तो government notify करता है. Highest state से consider करते हैं ना, not from center. I did not understand this question, Anshul. हाँ, ठीक है, ठीक है. It would not matter. Please understand. Distance तो would remain the same. Relative distance. Please, relative distance. इसको ज्यादा मान लो सपोज आप 1000 रुपए की जगह 500 रुपए से कंपेयर कर रहे हो, जिसका 100 रुपए 200 रुपए रिलेटिव डिस्टेंस सेम रहेगा ना, यहाँ रिलेटिव चीजें हो रही हैं. ओके. Is forest and ecology condition not unfair for states like Rajasthan where the deserts form a large part of their land area? नहीं, please understand this. Large area भी तो cover उसको weightage दिया गया है, वहाँ पे population density less होती है. We have to protect our forest cover. We have to ensure that very dense forests are protected, and that is why when you will study about Himalayan ecosystem, one of the first thing that we recommend in way forward there is Finance Commission needs to give them green bonus so that they do not unnecessarily start attracting a lot of industries and destroy their vegetation, because 40% of our forests are where? In Himalayas. So they need to get this green bonus. Otherwise, they would also want more industries come there. But when as more industries go there, as more roads are constructed, Himalayan ecosystem will be destroyed. They are providing greenery, fruits, other things for everyone in the country. Right. Now let's come back. हाँ, तो फाइनेंस कमीशन, व्हाट फाइनेंस कमीशन इज सपोज टू डू, आई होप ऑल ऑफ अस अंडरस्टैंड दैट. नाउ व्हाई डू वी नीड फाइनेंस कमीशन? तो देखो, फाइनेंस कमीशन इज कंसिडर्ड द बैलेंसिंग व्हील ऑफ फिस्कल फेडरलिज्म. फिस्कल फेडरलिज्म, व्हाट इज फेडरलिज्म? वुड समवन टेल मी व्हाट इज फेडरलिज्म? ठीक है, फिस्कल फेडरलिज्म फाइनेंशियल वाला एस्पेक्ट आ जाएगा उसमें. एंड फॉर दैट, what how would finance commission achieve that? By rational distribution of tax revenue between center and state. We need understand the reason why that needs to happen. Regional disparities prevent some states from generating adequate resources as compared to others, and therefore it's important for finance commission through horizontal devolution to create a formula so that these states which are not getting enough revenue are able to get more funds. But more importantly, we need this finance commission regularly, because with changing socio-economic circumstances of the country, the same formula cannot be applicable for long period. What is needed is, we need to evolve our devolution mechanism, and that is why every 5 years when new recommendation comes, we are changing the way in which changing the percentage of money going to states, changing the way in which the money will be distributed among states. So it is also helping us evolve our devolution mechanism. Got it? Now, one last thing, that before we go to 16th Finance Commission, the recommendation of Finance Commission is not binding on government. It's just a recommendation. Recommendation of Finance Commission are advisory in nature. Since it is not mentioned anywhere in the Constitution that recommendation of the Finance Commission shall be binding, the government may do something which is against the recommendation of Finance Commission. It will not be considered violation of the Constitution. But Dr. P.V. Rajamannar, who was the chairperson of the 4th Finance Commission, said that it should not happen unless there are very compelling reasons, because Finance Commission is a constitutional body and it is supposed to do quasi-judicial work, and therefore its recommendation should be accepted unless there are very compelling reasons. And generally governments accept the recommendations of Finance Commission. Got it? Okay. Now come to 16th Finance Commission. 16th Finance Commission was in news. So 16th Finance Commission was constituted in December 2023. इनके chairperson है Arvind Pangaria, who was the Niti Aayog vice chairperson. हाँ, what is the pronunciation? Pangaria, Panagaria, Panagaria. Is it the correct pronunciation? कौन सा, कहाँ, किस एरिया का सरनेम है ये? नहीं, Panagaria. ठीक है, Arvind Panagaria. He is the chairperson. He is the chairperson of our Finance Commission, our 16th Finance Commission. This Finance Commission will give its recommendation by October 2025, and these recommendations will be applicable for 5 years starting from 1st of April 2026. Other than this, all the 4 members have also been chosen, have also been appointed, and they have started functioning. They have started getting feedback from public on various issues. What is the term of reference of 16th Finance Commission? तो कुछ unique नहीं है. You will see they are supposed to recommend on tax sharing formula, vertical devolution, horizontal devolution. They were supposed to do recommend on the principles which should govern grants in aid. Grants in aid center से state में कैसे जाएगा, and how much grants in aid go to which state, that is they are supposed to do. Anyways, that's part of their function. Review the present arrangements for financing disaster management initiatives. Now, Finance Commission in the past have also given this recommendation that this percentage of money or this amount of money should be going to states for disaster management purposes. That will be reviewed by the 16th Finance Commission, and mooting measures to augment states consolidated fund in order to supplement resources available with panchayats and urban local bodies. This is also something that it was supposed to do. So in the term of reference also this is mentioned. So their term of reference is very, what should I say, conventional, ki same as what their main what they are supposed to recommend on. Other than the fact that disaster management के लिए funds कैसे allocate होंगे, that mechanism has to be reviewed a bit. Okay, so if a question comes, Finance Commission कैसे बनता है, वो कैसे function करता है, what is the term of reference of the latest finance commission? Will we be able to answer it? That's a traditional type of question. Now let's come to 16 finance commission को क्या क्या challenges आएंगे. They've started functioning. They've started consulting public on what are the key things that they want, what are the key areas which they should work upon. But what are the key challenges they are going to face? First, states are like, we need more money. States would be demanding if 41% is not enough, we need more money. Fulfilling this demand is going to be a challenge because center also needs its share of revenue to function properly. So one challenge that it will face is, how does it satisfy the need of every state when they're demanding more money? How does it get this fund? Second, center does not even share the right now it is said that 41% of the center's revenue should be going to states, but effectively only 38% of the funds went to the states. So एक point ये है कि right now the previous recommendation where 41% of the money should be going to state is not reaching states, because some money goes in the form of, let's say, a centrally sponsored scheme. A centrally sponsored scheme में some investment also has to come from states. If states are not able to do that investment, states are not able to spend that money, center का पैसा भी नहीं आता है. So effectively the amount of money which is reaching states right now is below the recommendation. Then there is another challenge, another issue. Issue is this. देखो, let's say this is tax revenue of center. This is tax revenue of center. Its 41% is supposed to go to states. The 41% is supposed to go to states. Okay. Central government also charges cess and surcharge. आप बहुत सारी चीजों पे सेस देते हो, सरचार्ज देते हो. If your income is beyond a particular level, the government starts charging some surcharge and all those things. आप कभी एग्रीकल्चर सेस देते हो, कभी प्रोफेशनल सेस देते हो, इस तरह की चीजें, एजुकेशन सेस देते हो. You do pay these kind of things, and these cess and surcharge are not supposed to be distributed between center and state. तो सेंटर का ये रेवेन्यू तो है, but center also gets this revenue from cess and surcharge, and center does not share this. It only shares इसका 41%. It only shares 41% of the tax revenue, not the revenue from cess and surcharge. And in recent times, what has happened? Center, rather than increasing that, focusing on increasing their tax revenue, they increase cess and surcharge, because that will not be shared with states. So effectively, देखो, ऐसे off tax, states were supposed to get 41% of the money as per Finance Commission recommendation, but they are only getting 38%. But if you include even this, then this 41% or 38% will become further lesser. During FY 21 to 24, the effective share of states in center's gross tax revenue, here tax plus cess and surcharge, if you include all those things, was only 31%. This was 35% between this period, FY 16 to FY 20. 2015-16 to 2019-20 के बीच में, of all the revenue that state was getting, tax revenue plus revenue from cess and surcharge, उसका 35% was coming where? 35% was coming to states. But now that percentage has reduced to 31%. And why is it happening? This is because there is inordinate increase in share of cess and surcharge to 18.5% of center's GTR. Of the total tax revenue that center is getting, उसका 18.5% क्या है? Cess and surcharge है, which it doesn't have to share. Again, center-state financial relations में, this cess and surcharge is something which is benefiting only centers. Then there are other challenges which Finance Commission is going to face. एक तो उसे ये वाला issue resolve करना पड़ेगा. States are saying कि increase our share because they are already fooling us. They're not increasing their taxes, they're increasing their cess and surcharge, and we are going to get affected. There are other issues. Other issues is ये अब so far what we studied was vertical devolution में क्या क्या challenges है. What are the challenges in vertical devolution? Now there are some challenges in horizontal devolution also. Advanced states are saying the weightage of income distance needs to reduce. Underdeveloped states are saying ki, no, we do not have money. We are a poor state. We need more money. Technically, center also feels ki, yes, the states which are not doing well, in order to promote equality for equity for every citizen, for center, every citizen is equal. There has to be a component of income distance. There has to be a component of income distance getting some weightage. This is becoming an issue. Horizontal distribution prioritizes equity over efficiency. Right now we are prioritizing equity. Equity means सबको equal amount of पैसा मिल रहा हो rather than efficiency. How? Let's understand. Let's look at this example. Tamil Nadu receives only 29 paise for every 1 rupee it contributes to center's taxes, whereas Bihar gets 7 rupees for every 1 rupee it contributes to center taxes. So Bihar is functioning inefficiently, it is not generating that much of revenue and it's getting benefit. So in the name of equity, efficiency is being sidelined. This is the argument of advanced states. Then population is also one of the parameters deciding the transfer and now we are using 2011 population. Perhaps by that time, if we will have 2021 census ka report, Finance Commission will start using 2021 census ka number. Perhaps it will depend on when the 2021 census report comes and all other things happen. But the point is, the states which have reduced their fertility rate say ki, why are you punishing us? उत्तर प्रदेश का पॉपुलेशन आप डबल कर दो, उनका पैसा आप डबल पहुंचा दे रहे हो, हमारे पास कम हो गया ना. What mistake did we make? Now, why am I saying this will be a challenge in front of Finance Commission? How does Finance Commission balance these disparate demands? Uttar Pradesh will say, Bihar will say, we are doing our best to control fertility rate. See, our fertility rate has reduced. But if you will not give money for our population, then you are discriminating against citizens only. Right? Then there are certain other things. Dekho, Finance Commission is supposed to work to ensure that more money goes to urban local bodies, Panchayati Raj institutions. Intergovernmental transfers to urban local bodies in India is just at 0.5% of the GDP, much lower than 2 to 5% typical of a developing nation. Generally, in developing nations, from government to local bodies, around 2 to 5% of the tax amount goes. But in India, this number remains very low. So another challenge in front of Finance Commission is to ensure that our urban local bodies are able to get more funds. So when the recommendation will come, we'll see what measures have they taken to strengthen the consolidated fund of states so that now more resources will be able to go to the urban local bodies. अब देखो, जैसे फाइनेंस कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया है, on its recommendation money from center goes to states, ऐसे ही there are state finance commissions on whose recommendation money from state to local bodies, Panchayati Raj institutions and urban local bodies will go. For that, state needs funds. More money the state will have, more funds may go there. But right now the situation is bad. So this is another thing that who will have to solve, who will have to work upon, the Finance Commission will have to work upon. Then there are allegations of partiality on Finance Commission. It is said that the entire Finance Commission has been appointed by the center. President ने appoint किया, but President works on the recommendation of Council of Ministers. तो वो तो Council of Ministers के हिसाब से ही काम कर रहे होंगे. And they are not functioning as a neutral body who will ensure rational division of revenue, rational division of taxes. This is another challenge in front of Finance Commission. They have to come up with recommendations which are such that these allegations of biasness are not there. Got it? Now there are some suggestions, some recommendations जो दिए जा रहे हैं कि what should finance commission be doing. जैसे one thing that is being recommended is कि population को जो weight दिया जा रहा है उस population weight को एक highest threshold दे दो, the weightage will not be given anything beyond this. ऐसे ही we are reducing the income distance का weightage. It used to be 50%, has been reduced to 45%, but then bring it down to a particular level and say this much weightage will be given. These kind of suggestions are there, but for I do not think right now you will be asked a question where you have to give suggestions कि finance commission को आगे क्या क्या करना चाहिए. You will have to say कि these are the challenges they are facing and they should take measures. यहाँ पे like in conclusion I'm saying कि putting a ceiling on center cess and surcharge revenue. This is another thing. कि center का cess and surcharge revenue is right now 80% of their gross tax revenue. They may need some cess and surcharge, but put a ceiling on that. Perhaps 10% or 8%. Their gross tax revenue should not, their cess and surcharge revenue should not be more than 10 or 8% of their gross tax revenue. They may come up with this kind of solution. Putting a ceiling on center cess and surcharge revenue, ensuring that income distance criteria and population criteria is not incentivizing inefficiency. अभी income distance criteria is kind of incentivizing inefficiency. आपका income जितना कम, आपको पैसा उतना ज्यादा. आपका population जितना ज्यादा, आपको पैसा उतना ज्यादा. Right? These are incentivizing inefficiency. So we'll have to, the finance commission will have to come up with recommendations that these things are not incentivizing inefficiency. That is, efficiency should also get some weightage. जैसे we have seen, fertility rate reduce करने पे some weightage has been given. Your fiscal targets are reaching. You're reaching your fiscal targets. There also some weightage has been given. So perhaps those weightages need to go up, and weightages on these items need to reduce. And ensuring enough resources for PRIs and urban local bodies are some of the key things finance commission will need to keep in mind while preparing its recommendations. When it prepares its recommendations, these are certain things that it will have to keep in mind. Right, now over the next 1 year, you will keep getting newspaper articles related to what finance commission should be doing. यहाँ पे ना वो नोट करते जाओ, 1, 2, 3, 4. अभी तो you have around 14 months when you will write mains examination. You have all the basics, you have main problems that is there. Now recommendations क्या दे रहे हैं अलग-अलग experts, keep on writing. They've just started working. Every 7 days you will have an article about finance commission in either Hindu or Indian Express, and you will get something. You will see most of the things you already know, but कुछ extra मिल रहा है तो add करते जाओ. Got it? हाँ. What is the rationale for not dividing cess and surcharge to the states? The idea was कि देखो, when we are charging cess, it's for a particular purpose. Agriculture के growth के लिए है, इसके लिए है. तो purpose was कि यार उसको उसके अगर center needed that money and they charged that much percentage as cess, it needs it rather than now if half of it goes to state or 40% of it goes to state, then what would happen? Their calculation would get hampered. तो टैक्सेस हम शेयर कर रहे हैं, सेस सरचार्ज शेयर नहीं कर रहे. ओके, यस यस यस. देखो, सेस इज फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर पर्पस. एग्रीकल्चर सेस, एजुकेशन सेस. सरचार्ज इज नॉट फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर पर्पस. सरचार्ज जस्ट इंक्रीजेस द रेवेन्यू ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, है ना. कि अगर आपका इनकम इस पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट से ज्यादा है, 10% सरचार्ज लगेगा. नाउ दैट सरचार्ज इज नॉट एजुकेशन सरचार्ज or agriculture surcharge or Swachh Bharat surcharge, whereas cess is for particular purpose. That money will go for a particular purpose. You will study about these. Don't worry. आप जो foundation batch वाले बच्चे हैं, from September 16th your economy would be starting, and 3 महीने के लिए आप हर Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday economy ही पढ़ रहे होगे, है ना. अभी you see my face twice every week. There you will start seeing my face 5 days every week. है ना. मैं सुधार लूंगा थोड़ा फेस तब तक. डोंट वरी, डोंट गेट बोर्ड. राइट, फाइनेंस कमीशन, एवरीथिंग इज अंडरस्टूड. एनी अदर डाउट्स? should I move ahead to the next topic? Okay, let's talk about the Great Nicobar project. अच्छा, briefly, First, let us look at the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Though there are many islands and we'll study about all those islands in future. हम geography में आएंगे, mapping वाले section में आएंगे and we'll study each and every island properly. But when you think of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, 6 islands you should know. Their order you should know कभी भी. One is the North Andaman, Middle Andaman and then the Lower Andaman. 3 main islands ये हैं Andamans वाले के. And when you come to Nicobar, Car Nicobar, Little Nicobar and Great Nicobar. You see here Car Nicobar. यहाँ पे we have Little Nicobar and then the southernmost island Great Nicobar. These 6 islands you should know very clearly. Please understand other islands are also important. है ना? Some of you may come and say, sir आपने Ross Island के बारे में नहीं बताया, it was asked in prelims. पढ़ेंगे. अभी I'm just giving you a broader picture. When you think of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, these 6 islands for now should be on your tips. Ki North, Middle, Lower Andaman and then Car Nicobar, Little Nicobar, Great Nicobar. Great Nicobar is the southernmost island of Andaman and Nicobar chain and is the southernmost land point of India also. आपको पता है Indira Point. Indira Point is the southernmost land point of India. Where will it be located? Great Nicobar के एकदम southernmost वाले part पे. And today we are going to talk about Great Nicobar Island Project. This topic is about Great Nicobar Island Project. Here, this is the figure of Great Nicobar Island. This is ये जो छोटा ये island जो दिख रहा था आपको, this is Great Nicobar Island in a bigger fraction. You will see that under Great Nicobar Island Project, 4 things are being developed. One is the Galathea Bay Transshipment Port. A large port is being developed. Shipping के लिए port is being developed. Other is an international airport. Third thing is township and area development, township where people will be able to live. And fourth is a power plant. Power plant which will be run on solar power panel and gas. Under Great Nicobar Island Project, आपके दिमाग में जब Great Nicobar Island Project आएगा, you should be able to talk about its 4 components. So Great Nicobar Island Project is a mega project to be implemented at the southern end of Andaman and Nicobar Island. Southern end of Andaman and Nicobar Island क्या है? Great Nicobar Island and Great Nicobar Island के भी southern end पे है. The project is estimated to cost 72,000 crore rupees and consist of it constitutes 4 components: a transshipment port, an airport, a township, and a power plant which will be gas and solar based power plant of 450 megawatt. This is Great Nicobar Island Project. Right? यहाँ पे here you will be able to see that in this part of the island it is being developed. In the southern part of the island it is being developed, and this island has Campbell Bay National Park. This island has Galathea National Park. You can see this same color में Campbell Bay and Galathea Bay National Park. There are important national parks located here, and on this island these 4 projects are being developed under Great Nicobar Island Project. ये तो introduction है, simple कि what is Great Nicobar Island Project. So it's a mega development project on the island of Great Nicobar, or on the southernmost island of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, where it has 4 components: 1 transshipment port, 1 airport, 1 township and 1 power plant, which will be solar and gas based. Got it? Now, this project is important because 1, it will ensure holistic development of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. वहाँ पे शिपिंग एक्टिविटीज हो पाएंगी, वहाँ पे एयरपोर्ट हो पाएगा, वहाँ पे टाउनशिप हो पाएगी, वहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट हो पाएगा. Will more tourists be able to go there? Will more economic opportunities be possible there? Yes, that's one thing. It will also lead to ease of living for people there. When there is township, when there is electricity. When there is airport in the southernmost island, will it enhance ease of living? Yes, that's going to happen. But these are not the primary goals. Government बोलती होगी कि ये सब होगा. Primary purpose is the strategic, and that is why do not oppose Great Nicobar Island project. अपने आंसर्स में भी कहीं दूर दूर से कि ग्रेट निकोबार आइलैंड प्रोजेक्ट के नेगेटिव इंपैक्ट को वी नीड टू कर्टेल, वी नीड टू रिड्यूस, बट in any situation national security is above everything else. National security is more crucial than anything else, and for that purpose Great Nicobar Island project is crucial. Why? I'll take you back to the four components. Let's go back to the four components. You will see that the international airport that is being built is a dual use military civil international airport. सिविल मिलिट्री नहीं, मिलिट्री सिविल. ऐसे जो ट्रांसशिपमेंट पोर्ट होगा वहां पे भी इट विल बी फॉर शिपिंग एंड ऑल, बट इंडियन नेवी विल बी हैविंग सम रोल टू प्ले. तो व्हाई स्ट्रैटेजिकली अंडमान एंड निकोबार आइलैंड्स पे these projects are very crucial for us. Let me take you to again maps. Look at its location on the map. कहाँ है? दिख भी नहीं रहे इतने छोटे से. This is our Great Nicobar Island, right? These are our Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This is the Great Nicobar Island. This was the Great Nicobar Island, right? What do we have here? Malacca Strait. It's very crucial for energy supply of China. Right? And that's why China is dependent on tomorrow if someone blocks this Malacca Strait. Sorry. Tomorrow if someone blocks this Malacca Strait, China's energy supply would get drastically affected, and that is why it is trying to develop this. It is developing this China-Pakistan economic corridor so that it will be able to do the transportation from there. But anyways, coming back to, if we look at the strategic location of Great Nicobar Island, जो भी दिख नहीं रहा इस मैप पे, it can give us a lot of advantage. Our military presence there can give us a lot of advantage in case of conflict with China. But that's not the only thing. India का first tri-military base जहाँ पे Air Force, Navy and Army तीनों होते हैं, that is in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Andaman and Nicobar Islands have hundreds of islands, but only few of them are inhabited. What if tomorrow some country comes and captures one of the islands, says कि it was an uninhabited island, in the past it has belonged to us? If we'll have military force there, chances of that happening would be much lesser. In fact, during 1965 war, ये जो है ना अपने पड़ोसी पाकिस्तान, they went to Indonesia for help. They said, why don't you take Andaman and Nicobar? Before Indonesia could do anything or the war was over, but these kind of things may happen. And फिर वही वाली बात है कि in case चाइना से कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हुआ, चाइना ने हमें परेशान करना शुरू किया, our strong military presence here can give us a lot of advantage. China ke a lot of submarines keep on coming in this region, and therefore we need to have this strong military presence. And that is why when in June 2024 अभी Congress party was opposing this project, अगर वो पावर में होते ना तो वो भी इस प्रोजेक्ट को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. because the beginning of this project is not abhi. It has been going on for decades. Plan for it has been going on for decades. This is that crucial a project. Got it? So there are some good things: development, economic growth, ease of living for people, but strategic importance is way more important than anything else. It's crucial for our national security. And that is why this project is important. But this project is creating a lot of challenges. This project is creating a lot of problems also. Let us understand those problems and how should we be dealing with them. It is going to negatively impact biodiversity. Now, the Great Nicobar Island is part of the biodiversity hotspot. What is biodiversity hotspot? Biodiversity hotspots are those regions of the world which are very rich in biodiversity but also are facing a lot of loss. So Great Nicobar Island is already part of that place जो बहुत rich है biodiversity में. Thus, we need to protect it, but it's already losing a lot of biodiversity. And there, if you'll go and go for this large mega projects, it is further going to threaten various endangered species and is going to negatively impact environment biodiversity there. The Galathea Bay in the island is a nesting ground for birds. It's also one of the world's largest nesting ground for giant leatherback sea turtle. Giant leatherback sea turtle can weigh up to 900 kgs and so on. उनका 1000 किलो, 900 किलो, 1000 किलो तक का weight होता है. These are the largest sea turtles in the world, and they are this Galathea Bay is a nesting ground for them. In fact, यहाँ पे कुछ protected areas थे. Government denotified them in 2021 because protected area में you would not have been able to do developmental activities. So the Galathea Bay Wildlife Sanctuary and the Megaport Wildlife Sanctuaries were two wildlife sanctuaries that have been in January 2025 they were 2021 they were denotified. It indicates कि यार important biodiversity areas may get damaged by the project. Then there is issue of deforestation. The project will require around 130 square kilometer of forest land and falling of around 10 lakh trees. We talk about afforestation, but in there is very less area in India which is covered by tropical rainforest. This is one such area, and there we are going to cut these many trees. Third, it violates various laws and rules also. They say we have coastal regulation zone. Coastal regulation zones में the coastal area is divided into zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, and zone 1 में we have 1A and 1B. 1A is those coastal areas which are protective, which are sensitive, जहाँ पे mangroves हैं, national parks हैं, wildlife sanctuaries हैं. And 1B we have area from low tide line to high tide line to low tide line का जो region होता है, that is 1B, CRZ 1B. यहाँ पे developmental activities are not allowed, but here you are doing that only. They are also violating own rules and regulations. Then there are other issues also. Threat to the tribals there. On this island, two groups of tribals live. One of them, Shompen, they are also like uncontacted tribes. And if more activities happen here and you start contacting them more, they are not immune to diseases that we have become immune to. They may get those diseases, and their inka population already is less than 100 or so. And I don't recall the exact number, जैसे मैं correct कर दूंगा अगर मैं गलत रहूंगा तो, but their population is very small. Then they are also going to get displaced. Some Shompen settlements also overlap with area the Niti Aayog has proposed to be used for transshipment terminal, so that these tribal people may also face problems. And finally, this is a disaster prone area. In geography, you will study the concept of ring of fire, and Andaman and Nicobar Islands are part of it. So in these areas, volcanic activities and earthquakes, very strong earthquakes may occur, and here creating this kind of large infrastructure may be discouraged. So these are the arguments which are given in opposition to Great Nicobar Island project. कौन कौन से arguments कि भाई biodiversity loss कर रहे हो आप, deforestation कर रहे हो, you may be affecting the, you may be violating laws there, CRZ norms are getting violated, the tribals may get affected because they are uncontacted tribe, you may give them disease, and they are also getting displaced because some of the project is in their areas. And finally, this is a disaster prone area. But again, as I told you, national security is more important than anything else. So we'll in our way forward, in our conclusion, we are not going to say कि बंद कर दो ये project. वो opposition parties को बोलने दो. I'm guaranteeing you, अभी राहुल गांधी पावर में आ जाए, कांग्रेस पावर में आ जाए, they will also be like ये प्रोजेक्ट चलना चाहिए. अदर देन कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया, उनमें ज्यादा बुद्धि नहीं है. उन्होंने अपने मैनिफेस्टो में डाल दिया था बंद कर देना. हाँ, अगर हम पावर में आए, उनको आना तो था नहीं पावर में, अगर हम पावर में आए तो ये प्रोजेक्ट बंद करवा देंगे. कांग्रेस इज ऑल्सो अपोजिंग इट, बट there are sane minds there. When they come to power, then they understand the logic behind it. They will say it's very crucial for India's national security and it's important. That's why what we'll say in our conclusion, in our way forward, is that we need to do proper environmental impact assessment and try to minimize losses. Minimize loss, minimize क्यों? क्योंकि प्रोजेक्ट तो इम्प्लीमेंट करना है भाई. We have to take measures so that losses are minimized. कैसे? Identify the least harmful methods and work with them even if the cost of the project increases. Keep very high diversity areas untouched. Consult local communities and stakeholders to address their concerns and garner their support for the project. Strengthen mitigation measures like afforestation. When you are cutting so many trees, you should be going for afforestation activities, coral reef transplantation, creation of biodiversity parks. These are certain other things you'll have to keep in mind. So the Great Nicobar project is a complex endeavor with huge benefits, economic as well as strategic benefits, and potential environmental risks. It's important to do a thorough assessment to ensure that benefits are realized in long run and the potential environment risks are minimized as much as possible. In our conclusion, in any way, are we opposing the project? No. We are saying we have to take such measures so that its economic and strategic benefits are maximized in long run. At the same time, our environmental risks are minimized. I hope you have clarity on. अब जब आपको आंसर भी लिखना है, never go for those. हिंदू में आ जाएगा ना आर्टिकल, this should be बंद करा दो. Don't go by that. You have to think from the perspective of practical solution, constructive solution. This project is crucial, this project is important. इसका implementation हो, but कई बार क्या होता है ना, at the time of implementation, government ignores every environmental aspect and the damage that happens is too much. That's also not something that we should be promoting. In our answers, there should not be कि सब तोड़ दो, सब फोड़ दो, और वो तो हम नहीं लिखोगे, but there should be caution in your answer. We should try to take all the measures, even if the project get expensive, to ensure that losses are minimized as much as possible. Okay, so I think this was the last topic. If I go back to this figure here, where I was talking about Galathea Bay National Park, and here you will see here we have Galathea Bay National Park, here we have Campbell National Park. प्रीलिमिनरी एग्जामिनेशन में ऐसे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है कि कैम्बल नेशनल पार्क कहाँ लोकेटेड है, किस आइलैंड पे लोकेटेड है, या गैलेथिया नेशनल पार्क, गैलेथिया पे नहीं, गैलेथिया नेशनल पार्क, वेयर इज इट लोकेटेड. वी शुड बी एबल टू आंसर दैट. एंड गैलेथिया नेशनल पार्क पे ही हमारा प्रीलिम्स फैक्ट वाला एक टॉपिक है which was pending, last one I did not cover. Let's cover that. Let's understand what is so crucial about Galathea National Park. Galathea National Park is located on the island of Great Nicobar. We understand that it was designated a national park in 1992. It forms part of Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. Hum in future, when we'll study biosphere reserves, we'll see how many biosphere reserves are there in India. 18. How many of them are part of Man and Biosphere Program of UNESCO? 12. इंडिया में 12 बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व्स है which are part of Man and Biosphere Program. Again, people who are part of GS Foundation program do not worry. आपको लग रहा होगा यार इन सबको सब आता है, इनमें से आधे बच्चे मेरे से पढ़े हुए हैं पहले, इनको मैंने सब रटाया हुआ है. Don't worry. You'll also be like, you will know all the national parks in the country, you will know all the biosphere reserves in the country. वो मेरी जिम्मेदारी है, ठीक है. But the first biosphere reserve that I start with south to north direction में. The southernmost one is the Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. India का southernmost biosphere, which is the southernmost island that we have? Great Nicobar Island. The southernmost biosphere reserve कौन सा है? Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. It also includes Campbell Bay National Park. तो Biosphere Reserve constitute of Galathea National Park as well as Campbell Bay National Park. Abhi in the figure we had seen Campbell Bay National Park is on the northern side, which is separated from Galathea Bay by a 12-kilometer forest buffer zone. There is a buffer zone which separates these two. Now, some important faunas are there. वैसे तो there are lots of species there, but there are some unique, interesting species. One of them is coconut crab or giant robber crab. Crab, do we understand what crabs are? What are crabs called in Hindi? केकड़ा. ये सबको पता है. शीशम किसी को नहीं पता है. रोज शीशम केकड़ा नहीं देखते हो रोज, है ना, पर केकड़ा पता है. लायक लोग. तो केकड़ा देखा होगा आपने, छोटे 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 होते हैं. ये भाई 4 किलो का है. एंड इट कैन कोकोनट गिरता है, ये कोकोनट को लेके तोड़ फोड़ के एक तो एक कोकोनट को उठा के जा सकता है, उसको ब्रेक करके उसके अंदर से फ्रूट निकाल के खा सकता है. इट्स दिस बिग. दैट्स व्हाई कोकोनट क्रैब और जायंट रॉबर क्रैब, रॉबर चुरा रहा है. It's vulnerable. IUCN status is vulnerable. It is the largest terrestrial arthropod in the world. Now you may ask, sir, what is arthropod? है ना, we will, जैसे अभी हमने biology नहीं पढ़ी है, so you may not know it. Briefly I'll talk about what arthropods are. देखो, again, when we divide life forms on earth, there is Monera, Protista, fungi, plant, animalia. ये तो मेरे को लगता है जब तक मैं आपको बायोलॉजी पढ़ाने आऊंगा तब तक ये तो सबने रट लिया होगा ना. मोनेरा, प्रोटिस्टा, फंजाई, प्लांट, एनिमालिया. एनिमालिया में वी स्पोक अबाउट वर्टिब्रेट्स एंड इनवर्टिब्रेट्स, है ना. वर्टिब्रेट्स जिनके बैकबोन है, जहां पे मैमल्स, बर्ड्स, रेप्टाइल्स, एम्फिबियंस और क्या रह गया, फिश, राइट. ये 5 हैं. इनवर्टिब्रेट्स में वी हैड स्टार्टेड विद स्पंजेस, पोरीफेरा जो स्पंज जैसे दिखते हैं. देन वी स्पोक अबाउट नाइडेरिया. नाइडेरिया में कौन है? कोरल्स, जेलीफिश, दे वर इन नाइडेरिया. ऐसे ही आप आगे जाओगे ना तो you'll have annelids. उसी में आगे जाओगे you'll have arthropods. आर्थ्रोपॉड्स में क्या आते हैं? आर्थ्रोपॉड्स में इंसेक्ट्स आते हैं, क्रुस्टेशियंस आते हैं, जैसे मॉस्किटो, मक्खी, देयर ऑल आर्थ्रोपॉड्स. आर्थ्रोपॉड्स के अंदर देयर विल बी इंसेक्ट्स, देयर विल बी क्रुस्टेशियंस एंड और भी चीजें होंगी. तो आर्थ्रोपॉड्स में सबसे बड़ा आर्थ्रोपॉड कौन है? वर्ल्ड का लार्जेस्ट आर्थ्रोपॉड इज, कहां गया? अरे ये भाई छोटा दिख रहा है पर 4 किलो. सोचो ना, उस ग्रुप में क्या है? मच्छर, मक्खी है. उस ग्रुप में 4 किलो का ये क्रुस्टेशियन, राइट. देन निकोबार पिजन. लुक एट दिस पिजन. हमारे कबूतर कितने प्यारे से होते हैं, राइट. घर की रोशनदान पे अंडा देते रहते हैं. Did you have any something like this when I was growing? तो in my तो हमारे घर में ना एक रोशनदान होता था. रोशनदान इज लाइक on window, or sorry, on the door there used to be one open area and there पूरी लाइफ कबूतर रहा है. वो पॉटी करते रहते थे नीचे गेट के डोर पे. एंड माय फादर वाज लाइक, नहीं टच मत करना, उन्हें हटाना नहीं है. तो पिजन आर लाइक वेरी कॉमन, पिजन तो देखा है सबने. एनीवन हु हैजंट सीन पिजन? सिटी ब्रेड कहाँ गए हमारे? There someone said I am a city bred person. We are city bred. तो सिटी ब्रेड भी हो तो घर की छत पे चले जाना, थोड़े दाने ऐसे ऐसे डाल देना, पिजन आ जाएंगे. कुछ कौवे आएंगे, कुछ पिजन आएंगे, है ना. दैट्स बट दिस इज डिफरेंट पिजन. Nicobar pigeon. It is the closest relative to a bird which has become extinct, dodo, and it is near threatened. It's not threatened yet. But then there is this Nicobar megapod. Megapod wildlife sanctuary था, है ना. It is known because it's named like this because of its legs which are large. Megapod. Okay, so it's a megapod found on some islands of Nicobar Island. Like other megapods, it builds a large mound nest with soil and vegetation, with the eggs hatched by heat produced from decomposition. That's a unique characteristic. So it will create large mound which will have a lot of plant waste and everything there. And जब वो mound decompose होगा, egg there will get heated up by that, the heat produced because of decomposition, and its hatching will happen by that. Whereas our traditional, say if we talk about pigeon, you will see pigeon will sit on its egg to heat it up. That's not the case here. It gets hatched by this decomposition mechanism. Anyways, we are going to study these birds in a lot more detail in future. But अभी news में जो चीजें थोड़ी आती रहती हैं, we will keep on studying those things like this. And in future, when we study, like we will study around 50 different birds in biodiversity. उसमें already if you'll know certain things, life would be easier. Okay, so I'll see you next Saturday then. है ना. इस बार एक थोड़ा मिस्टेक, ज्योग्राफी के सिलेबस में मिस्टेक हो गया था करंट अफेयर्स बैच वाले बच्चों में. ज्योग्राफी में आपके गलत क्वेश्चन आ गए थे, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन. बट यूपीएससी में भी आ जाते हैं ना जो नहीं पढ़े हुए हैं. थोड़ा सा कोई बात नहीं, दिस विल नॉट हैपन. नेक्स्ट वीक आई थिंक यू हैव अ मंथली टेस्ट. मंथली टेस्ट मतलब जो चारों वीक में पढ़ा है वो पूरा सिलेबस आएगा. तो यू विल हैव फुल 100 क्वेश्चन का एमसीक्यू टेस्ट एंड 20 क्वेश्चन का सब्जेक्टिव टेस्ट. रिवीजन करना शुरू कर दो पूरा जितना अभी तक पढ़ा है, एंड जो अभी आप पढ़ोगे यू विल हैव दिस बिग टेस्ट कमिंग. क्यों घबरा, अरे रुको, क्या हुआ? क्लास होगी ना. क्लास तो 5 से 8 होगी, टेस्ट सारे पहले हो जाएंगे. नहीं रोज होगी क्लास बेटा, बोला था. देखते करते. चलिए, आई विल सी यू ऑन सैटरडे. थैंक यू वेरी मच.